Hi, very good evening. Welcome to this HLD Hutton's Landed Divisions, our full year landed market analysis. And again, we do this once a quarter, and it's good to see all of you again as we start the year. We're going to start a bit faster today, but before that, let me just try this while waiting for the rest to come. Perhaps let us just find out first whether if this is the first time you're attending the poll, right? We just do a quick, simple exercise. While waiting for some of the latecomers to join. Meanwhile, while waiting, this is a webinar. It's meant to be two-way. So if you have any questions during this, and I'm sure you will have, even I have some questions when staring at some of the numbers, all right? Feel free to use the webinar questionnaire. You can actually raise, maybe not raising hand, David, if you can, just put the questions inside, right? And then the panelists here, which are my teammates, which I'll introduce in a while, they can help to also answer some of the questions, okay? We have now 63% are new, okay? The rest, do let us know. It's quite incredible. We've been doing this for many years, and every time there are a lot of newcomers, all right? The rest, I think they've learned and decided to maybe watch the YouTube channel or something, because this will be recorded, by the way, all right? If you have friends, family members, anyone who is keen and couldn't make it today, this will be recorded in probably a few days' time. Then later I'll show you where to find the link. Okay. So you've just joined us, welcome once again on behalf of HLD, Hutton's Landed Division. In about a minute's time, we will start. We have quite a number of people, 50 plus. Only 36 have voted. The rest can just share with us if this is your first time. Okay, so we have about, can you all see the results? About 60% are new. Welcome to our webinar for the first time. And some of you are repeated ones. Also, thank you for supporting this or satisfying your curiosity. All right, so let's start proper. Okay, once again, my name is Willie on behalf of my teammates here, the management team, as well as the entire team in the Hutton's Landed Division. We welcome you to attend the first quarterly webinar. And this is not just anyone, because we're always excited at the beginning of the year, because for the first time, or not for the first time, we are starting the year to look at not just quarterly data, but we have now one full year of data to share with you and let you understand the highs and lows of what has happened in 2024. All right, we call this the good, the bad, and of course, a lot of you are here very curious to know about the outlook for 2025 as well. Okay, now before we start, some stunning stats, okay, in 2024. Even this has caught my teammates here and I by surprise, okay? What do you think? Do you think it's a quiet year, by the way? What if I show you some of these statistics? Can somebody make a guess? Which district, all right, which landed district's transaction volume actually increased by 96%, almost double, all right? And which one is on the opposite side, declined by 21%? Make a guess. Okay. Of course, a lot of you have interest in different districts and a lot of slides that come later. You may want to stare harder at that and find out the answer. Next will be which district's average price actually surged by 27%. Now, this average price, not median price. So we're taking basically average transactions from previous year, 2003 of 9.7, you went up to 12.3. So you don't have $10-12 million, you can forget about buying a house there. All right. Obviously, if you're familiar with some of these districts, you know this is in the prime area, but later I'll let this will be Will to share with you. And we also have, in terms of price range, all right, a lot of you here may have are buyers, sellers, maybe your price range of your landed properties as a certain price. Later you'll see as well. If you're interested, landed property prices in the 4 to 5 million range, you'll be happy to know that last year there are 62% more transactions. All right, 62 more transactions. Now, how about the other price ranges? How about 5 to 6 million, 8 to 9, above 10, etc.? These are just some of the questions that we're going to answer, all right, in the next 2 hours. Okay. Of course, if this is the first time, let me just self-introduce first. I'm Willie. I'm the head of Hutton's Landed Division. So, which is, by the way, this is the official lender division of Huttons. And if you know, this is our third largest agency in Singapore. All right, we have started more than 10 years ago. And of course, the team would not be possible without my team of management team here. Let me just share with you how they look like. Can you see all of them now here? They are all with me, all right, respectively in charge of their districts. Pardon me. Okay, so from Michael, Cindric, let me see, this is blocking me, Will, Jason, Sean, as well as Justin. Okay. And thanks to, of course, our activities and I think activeness in the market, we have been featured in various media over the years. These are some of those if you happen to see them. Okay. And of course, more importantly, this is our team, whom I'm sure is one of them has actually invited you to our this landed webinar. All right. So there's about, we just crossed the 100 mark, very significant number just last year. So our team is growing year by year as well. And very importantly, at the bottom are all the QR codes for which you can actually see from our market activities, all right, in terms of our, especially the houses that the new listings that just come up and how we market houses as well. Okay, now you can screenshot this. If not, very simply, you want to scan the QR code, just go to any of these social media channels and just look for Huttons Landed Division, all right? Okay. So like I mentioned, we have done this for many years already. So every quarterly we publish these reports. If you want any of this, you can actually ask any of our teammates, especially, for example, the last one we just did, Q4. Okay, this is the QR code for the last YouTube link. If you scan on this, you'll be able to see the other previous quarterly webinars being uploaded there as well. All right. So before we start, again, some disclaimer. The data that we have, we're going to present next are all derived from URA and this SRX, and they are as at 10th of January, all right, just a few days ago. So of which, because the numbers do run a bit, but I think we try to get as relevant as possible. And at the same time, as much as we try to help you, please try not to use the numbers against us or any of the Huttons agents, right? Who are trying to derive some form of statistics or analysis, okay, to assist you. So today we're going to go into first part is the total landed market first, right? How has Singapore done as a whole? And very interestingly, and this is where I think a lot of people follow us, because I think nobody so far has dissected or analyzed the market in the way we do. And this we'll start to see in the market subsegments. And then next part two, very highly anticipated. Again, you have a lot of stakeholders here in the various regions and districts. You can see we're going to follow, start with East, Central, Northeast, and West region. And last part will be the 2025 outlook. All right. Now, this is new. I literally just added today, which is a bonus section. All right. Which is how can you be a smarter landed buyer or seller? Now, this is subject to time. So I'm trying to go as fast as we can. And so that we can complete this and try to cover this bonus session if time allows. All right. If not at the 10 p.m. mark, if you want to extend further, you can let us know and we'll see. Okay. All right. So, if you recall 1 year ago, okay, we started this similar, all right, similar concept in terms of agenda. We boldly predicted, okay, we like the first webinar of the year because that's when we will discuss and then start to have pretend to have the crystal ball based, of course, of our understanding, our insights in the market. How will the new year be? Okay, so in 2024, 1 year ago, we actually predicted that price will rise by 1.5 to 3% and volume to drop by 10 to 12%. You want to know how true we are, how accurate we were? All right. Now, this is the first important chart. This shows, right, the full year transaction volume and value for landed property market in 2024. So let's first start with where we are correct, which is value. All right, value has increased in terms of PSF by 2.8%. You can see my cursor here. All right, we predicted to be a slower growth, about 2.5 to 3, and we're quite right on mark at 2.8. All right, for the first time, I think this is the year where we predicted you will cross actually 1,009 for the first time, and rightly so. It has now crossed $1,926 per square foot. Okay. I just got a buyer just today. Sorry if you are here. Pardon me if I use your name. Just you texted me, really, do you have $1,000 per square foot? I can't even fit in the $1,000 in this chart. All right, this is the last 10 years. Okay, so of course this is a developer wanting to buy larger units, subdivide, etc. Okay, but putting the 10 years here also give you a perspective. All right, why do you put 10 years? To show in case you have entered the market before now, it gives you the relative performance over the years. By the way, back to this chart, the line chart. Okay, the blue one actually shows the price growth, which you can see after COVID, 2020 onwards, it has shown for 3 full years of double-digit growth. All right. And last year, we had predicted this year will start to taper off, which it has. And then the bars will be the transaction volume, which peaks at 2021, COVID year. And then after that, it went down last year, sorry, 2023 was a low. And we did predict because of certain factors and many other reasons, all right, that we think because it's generally a softer market and we did end 2023 on a good note. We actually thought that it would be, well, minus 10%. Okay, I quote it again. You can refer to that. Fortunately, unfortunately, we were very wrong. Okay, the volume actually increased by 26%. What has really happened? All right, now it has crossed 1,006, which is above, I think, the average for the last 10 years, as you can see, one of the highest. And if we were to pull another 10 years before, this is a very respectable number. Is the economy very good? What has happened to the market that caused a lot of people to enter the landed market? Some few reasons, okay, that has surprised us was there's surprising, okay, I think I won't use the word record number, but we see a lot of buyers who are first-time buyers coming from HDB and condos. There are a lot of non-landed upgraders last year. Okay, that's one. We also see, of course, like I say, generational wealth. We see a lot of landed buyers not owning any landed properties, right? But it's because parents have sold their place. You see that in the papers as well, as people downsize, all right, they sell, and then the parents may move to a condo, but then there's spare cash, and then they buy landed properties, right? Third, if not the most, one of the very significant reasons is that we see a lot of new immigrants, all right, naturalized citizens as well, especially some of the bigger ticket items that we have seen. They are contributed by all these new citizens. Again, they only own maybe condos, and then especially in certain popular areas, Bukit Timah, some parts of Katong, a lot of these buyers are actually new citizens, naturalized citizens. Okay, so this three plus some other reasons have actually contributed to this plus 26% growth in volume. So it is a very good year, all right, in terms of volume and predictable value. So remember the header, good, bad, right? The good and the bad. So I'm going to dissect. We're going to start to make our analysis a lot simpler than before by classifying basically, right, the market into just good and bad, just simply put, right, in terms of good. So you can see from here, and also in between, if it's something a bit more neutral in the sense, we'll put it as under average. So total Singapore market, I think the volume is very good, right? Plus 26% above expectations. And well, value price increase of 2.8 is decent, all right, is decent. And if you understand how HDB, I think HDB has grown like 10, but almost 10%. Condos have grown significantly well as well, all right? So it's in line with the entire residential market. All right, so I like to say, does the market end with this? Are you satisfied with just this chart? Obviously not. We at HLD always like to dissect, go as deep as we can so that we can add value to you. First, add value to us before we add value to you, right? But before we go there, let's do another very quick poll, okay? Because this will really determine, I think, where the priorities lie in terms, I think, or how the upcoming charts are going to be interpreted. Let me just try this. Give me a minute. How many of you are buyers and sellers? Pardon me, I'm trying to launch the poll. Okay, coming out. So do share with us, are you buying or selling in the near future, right? Are you thinking of buying or selling in the near future? Please share with us. Can you see the poll? Okay. We're not going to change the content because of that. But generally, a lot from previous webinars, generally, we're more buyers. I don't know why. Are sellers more confident? Because I think it's a seller's market. By the way, in the past, maybe 2-3 years ago, it's very clear it is a seller's market. But I think starting from last year, right, if not 2 years ago, we started to see a shift in this power in terms of negotiation between buying and selling. All right, let's see whether today do we have more buyers and sellers. Okay, Sadly, not too much of a difference. We still have 63% who are buyers, 37% who are selling. Okay, so just to let you know, among all the audience here, right? What does the next few slides mean to you? You can take a look. Firstly, if you're buying, selling, are you thinking of a terrace, okay, semi-D or semi-D or detached? All right, so just now we saw a plus 2.8% for instance. Is the performance equal among all three? Obviously not. But before we go in, just to let you know, this is the market composition in terms of the transactions, right? Not in terms of supply, but in terms of transactions. So last year, you can see that Terrace and Samedi has increased in terms of proportion, right? Weightage of all the transactions. Together is 90% now, right? The bracket ones are the previous year. So Detached has dropped from 13% to 10%. I hope this first chart, by the way, as we go on and on, you start to understand the market more and more, right? We are now like peeling off the layers more and more because 2.8%, for example, by itself doesn't mean a lot, okay? By a lot, because a lot of you, I mean, we're not buying the market as a whole, but how does it affect you? So this is the first slide, okay, that shows you that you see more people going to Terrace and semi-Ds and what's happening to Detached. Okay, in exact numbers, you can see now Terrace have contributed to 31% and semi-D to 40%. Now, Detached is flat, which means that the total growth generated is actually all 100% from by Terrace and semi-Ds. Like we said, we have a lot of first-time upgraders. Obviously, you don't expect to jump straight to Detached. We will see later as my teammates will show as well. Across many districts, a lot are actually entering the Terrace market, right, for the first time, more affordable houses. Okay. Next will be the transaction value. So remember the 2.8. So among them, not surprisingly, Terrace is leading the growth with a 4.3% growth. And this is the first time that Terrace has crossed $2,000 per square feet on average, right? Island-wide. Okay. You see have Detached and semi-D relatively stable at 1,007. And Detached, both the plus and minus are quite not a cause for concern, right? But it's the Terrace that has grown a lot. Okay, at 2,000 per square feet. So you see here, Terrace, okay, grown by 4.3. Average 1 + 1 is decent, and Detached is not doing as well. Okay, now next will be Freehold versus 99. I don't know how many 99-year buyers are there out there. My team, all right, has transacted quite a number last year. It came as a surprise to us. Okay, so even though the proportion is still dominated by Freehold 999, increased by 1 more percent, 99 at 18% is still quite respectable. Okay, let's take a look at the numbers and you can see, right? So you can see firstly, this Freehold, obviously this dominates the market. So you'll see the indicators here very consistent with the total market. Market was 2.8, whereas for value is 2%. Then volume actually grew stronger, right, by 31%. With this, you not just know this is a zero-sum game, right? So it's just 100% Freehold 99. It means 99 is what? The value, has it gone higher, right? You will see if Freehold has only gone by 2%, means that 99-year landed properties here has actually grown by 5.5%. Again, another new benchmark of crossing $1,500 for the first time, right? Again, our team has even crossed, I myself have sold the 99-year that crossed 1,900. Actually, in fact, a lot of our 99-year properties, the transacted price are all record highs last year, okay? Is this similar? Is it because of the upgraders that we mentioned? All right, you can see a lot who enter the market. Maybe they would like to stay in the landed. And maybe because now the condo market is, of course, HDB, they're all 99. So I think the pre-notion of lease decay, of declining value, this is less of a concern. These buyers want the affordability and upgrade to a bigger space that gives them better value. Okay. Volume is a 20% growth. Again, very respectable. Right. So you see here, in terms of tenure-wise, you will see actually 99 years, not the Freehold ones leading the pack at a plus 5.5%, right? What other ways can we dissect the market? Is new versus resale, okay? Resale obviously predominantly dominates the market with 95%, all right, of the total market. This is unlike condos where you will see actually new launches, for example, new condos, almost taking equal share, not a high interest than some resale ones, for example. But in landed, okay, this is very skewed towards resale market. Okay, new ones are only occupying 5%, with the exception in some districts later, which I'll show you, and also explains the next chart as well. Okay, So you see resale houses, again, this slide, 999 and Freehold. In fact, this one, because it occupies about 90%, this is much closer. So you see the value increasing by 4%. Volume, okay, but increasing by 31%, right? 31%. So this is the main growth driver. How about new houses? This is where it's a bit surprising. You can see that even though the volume has increased by 18%, value has actually dropped by almost 9%. All right. One main reason, and this is shared in the previous quarters, among this 84, about 68 of them was a new launch, okay, in District 28. I'll let Sean share with you later. That's only is in a more affordable district. It's also a 99-year property. Average price is only 2,002, all right, 21 to 22. So you will see that pulling, all right, this constitutes about 80% of all the new launches, therefore pulling the value down, because this index or this number may surprise you if you're shopping around for a new house, because anywhere now, all right, even in now we're marketing a lot of houses, even in say District 19, etc., they are crossing $3,000 per square feet, especially for the terraces, for example. So this, just bear in mind, if you're looking for new ones and they are way above, don't be worried, because this includes a lot of 99 year. Okay. Right, so here you have the average, more or less, plus 4%, but the bad part, the underperformance, is actually new houses at minus 8.9. Okay, how would this turn out next year? We strongly believe this is going to be a reversal, all right, because this launch is going to taper off in terms of the supply, and then the new launches that's going to come out in the market, trust me, is going to push the price up, right, by a lot. More on that in the outlook later, but let's continue with the segmentation. Next will be strata landed. Any one of you looking for strata besides 99? Okay, strata landed cluster houses, or this strata terrace landed, or condo, semi-Ds, etc. Okay, so they have a decline in terms of proportion. We see less and less people going for them. Maybe it could be because one reason is people would rather make the jump to a landed. Okay, in the past, people go for strata so because there are 4, 5 ensuite bedrooms, etc. But this year, again, later we will see a lot of the houses sold last year are actually just 2-story houses in many districts. Right, they're happy with less rooms, but what they wanted is a landed title. So instead of jumping to strata, then jump to landed, I think a lot of them just make the shift to landed straight away. Okay, so 87%. So you can see here for strata, the volumes increase marginally at 2%, still quite healthy, but you see the value actually dropping. All right. Now, just think for, unlike the rest of the categories that we've seen, strata landed here is the only one that uses a PSF based on built-up area, not land size. Okay, because they don't own any land, by the way. Right. So it's we thought might be if they grows progressively, may cross $1,000 per square feet at the beginning of last year, but we were wrong. Okay, in fact, it has declined to 2.8%. Okay, so if you're a seller now trying to hit that, or think that is a bit difficult to sell, you're not wrong, because it's only 2% growth versus the rest. Okay, again, these are some of the implications. I hope as you're looking now, although there are many numbers, certain numbers or certain statistics will mean a lot more to you, and hopefully will help you to change your directions or your strategies for the year moving forward. Right. Okay, next will be this new, is this for 63% of you who are joining us for the first time. Let me introduce a concept the HLD uses a lot, which is core versus non-core district. What do I mean by this? All right, so there are 28 districts, of which I think 24 of them have landed properties, but we have chosen, since more than 10 years ago, all right, HLD have chosen to focus on 11 districts, all right, across all 4 regions of Singapore, which in together make up more than 80%. All right, when we first started, it's the 80%. Later you'll see in terms of percentage, right? This is actually the core in terms of transaction volume. So pardon us if you are staying in District 17, 22, 24, etc. It's not that we don't do them, but it's just that the volume, some of them, a lot of them are actually under 10 units transactions per year. So on behalf of the team, we cannot survive if you're going to focus on this, all right? But the remaining 11 districts now, these are the big brothers of the entire, they're the pulse of the entire market, okay? You can see that this is a right choice since, 80%? Actually, when we first started, was, I think, 79%. So now it's already 84%, okay? 1 more percent higher compared to the year before. And non-core has dropped to 16%. This is just on the transaction volume. Is there an indication on the value? For instance, do you see that perhaps core districts being more popular will lead to higher price? Like is a usual, very common correlation, right, that we draw to HDBs and condos as well. The more transactions there are, the higher the price push. Let's see if this is true. Okay. We go to the next slide. So this is transaction volume. Again, many numbers here. You can see the 10 years above. We have grouped them by districts. So we have Central Region, East, North, Northeast, West. Okay. And then you have all together, these are the core districts, and then you have the non-core districts. So first, let's take a look at this one. Easier to see. Can you see that the core districts, remember it grew by 26%, right? Core districts actually contribute, the growth is actually 31% growth. Non-core districts is actually flat, if not a drop in terms of transaction volume. So you see more and more people going towards the more popular or core districts. All right. Okay. So among them, among the four regions, you see East region and Northeast region growing the most, okay, by 50%, 41% respectively. Is it a coincidence? Obviously not. Are these two regions, all right, consisting of that 7 districts? What are the reasons why they are always more popular, besides being convenient, besides being, for example, near popular schools, for example, more well connected to amenities, for instance? Any other reasons? Is there any other reasons that connect to this? Later, the 7 districts, the ICs will be there to share with you, right? But I've already given you a clue. Remember, affordability. This is where some of the most affordable houses are located. Okay, you'll see in a while. Of course, above here, again, you can just, there are many numbers. You can just take a closer look at the number, that the district that you're interested in. I won't go through every one of them. Okay. Let me move on. Now, how about value? Okay. So value, remember, is 2.8%. And you see here, not surprisingly, although I think it's been a while, we see all the core districts actually reported a price growth, except maybe District 11, right? This is flat. The rest are all positive growth. Okay, so you can see consistently. Among them, you have District 13, District 16, and 23 leading, okay, with the price growth. So later you'll hear from Michael, for example, regarding District 16. One of the reasons is there are more. District 16, by the way, there's 99-year and freehold, all right? So there are more buyers shifting from D15 to D16, all right, contributing to the price. D13 in particular, you can see crossing almost 2,000. Jason later will share with you that it's because a lot of the lower quantum terraces that actually incur very high PSF are actually transacted there. Same for District 23 as well, which is also a district that has a lot of 99-year houses. Okay, right. Again, these are the non-core because, again, or due to the much less transactions, so you'll see a lot more fluctuations. So I won't go too much into the details for that. But non-core generally, remember the almost 15 or 16% of them, right? The price growth is actually flat, okay, compared to core districts of 3.3%. And with certain exceptions that you can see here, the positive like 146%, but then again, it's because of very abnormal so-called transactions the previous year. Okay, you can see certain districts, pardon me, right? Like for example, District 4, District 27, and also District 9. These are some of the more popular ones. You have Sentosa, Sembawang side as well. That has actually dropped in terms of transacted price. Okay, so if you happen to stay here, or if you are looking for some house here now, you should still be able to find pretty good buys there. But as a seller, unfortunately, you probably have to be a bit more patient, all right, for the tides to turn. Okay, so some of the better districts, again, we highlight the more extreme ones, all right, the better performance. You have District 16, District 23, and 13, and you have 4, 27, and District 9 leading the negative decline, all right, or the decline. So far, so good. Do you need me to slow down? Right? If not, I will move on. By the way, all this you can screenshot. You want the slides, you can ask from the HLD consultant who have or Hutton's agent who has invited you as well. If not, they are all available on YouTube, right? After a while. Now, another interesting way for us to understand the market, okay, besides PSF, which we are quite familiar, is to understand average price, because that's what matters to you, right? In terms of affordability. If you're in the pocket now 4.5 million, or in your budget, you're budgeted 6 million, for example, what kind of house can you buy in which district, and what is the trend based on last year's results? So the next slide, again, we can assure you nobody has this island-wide, okay? Only HLD has. Again, many numbers. Let me just guide you through first. You have 2003, 2004, the various districts, the core at the top. You have the non-core at the bottom. Again, many numbers. You have the average price, average size, etc. So let me bring you through, all right? If I can bring your attention down to just the black part downstairs at the bottom first, okay? So total Singapore, just now we get PSF, right? 1,009 per square feet, okay? So now in terms of average price, last year or previous year, 2023, you need about average price about 5.76, okay? 5.76. Last year, surprisingly, the average transacted price is 5.58, which means that the average transacted price has actually dropped, okay, by 3%. Why is that so? If you have an increase in PSF and a drop in price, something has to give, right? Which is the average size. So what in 2023, the average size of a house sold is about 3,002 per square feet. Last year, it has dropped to 3,000, okay, 3,065. So this is a 5% drop. So if you understand these two numbers, it connects well, which means, like I said earlier, in the beginning, that while more and more people are buying, they're actually buying smaller houses and at lower absolute quantum. So like many, you can see also in HDB, maybe, okay, not the $1,000 million HDB per se, condos, a lot of people are now not selling condos based on PSF, they're selling based on quantum. It's not surprising now with $2.5 million, for example, it's hardly very difficult, no, should I say 2 million, you can't even get a proper 3-bedder, for example, right? Because prices are increasing by the year, okay? So next will be, among this, let's take a look at core districts. It has not escaped the wrath of this. It's still a drop, but a less drop is -2% and -4%, okay? What is actually pulling the entire market down, even though it's a smaller percentage, is actually the non-core districts. So you can see that the price has dropped from 4.7 to 4.1, 14% drop, okay? 14% drop, and the average size has dropped by 8%. Okay, the price has dropped by the size has dropped by 8%. So it's actually less than $3,000, 3,000 square feet in general for the non-core districts. Okay, you'd be surprising because if you do know some of these, like District 4 is Sentosa, by the way, right? So majority Sentosa is the sizes are like 8,000 square feet. So the rest means a lot of them are actually smaller, right? Okay. So you want a few more seconds to take a look at this again? You can just take a look. Let me just pick maybe one core districts. Okay, you can see, for example, here, district, remember just now I said the 9 to 12 million. Now that answer is District 10. Average price was 9.65 2 years ago. Last year, it has increased a lot, 27%. In fact, it is the highest in terms of average price price growth. Okay, we see that also consistent with last 3 months and also the upcoming listings as well. Okay, and the price has also, size is grown as well. So D10 is doing very well in terms of the they call it asset progression, but I would say in terms of asset upgrading, so to speak. Okay. All right, next I'll move on. So with this, in terms of price, you can see core districts in terms of PSF. Core districts are winning, all right, plus what, 3.3, while average is non-core. Average price, you see non-core and average size, the non-core are actually leading the decline. Okay, is that all we can do? Would you like to know more? Okay, another way, remember to, I asked about budget earlier. Price range, okay, price range. Again, you can tell me really, yes, D10 is doing well or etc. But my budget is this price range, okay? It's 5 to 6 million, below 5 million, etc. There are many ways, many layers, but I'm just going to group into 3 big areas. Below 5, 5 to 10, and above 10, okay? Can you see now it's getting a lot clearer that below 5 million, there's actually an increase in proportion, right, of these transactions from 61 to 64. Conversely, on the other side, above 10 million, there are less people buying now. It has dropped from 9% to 7%. In between, a bit unscathed, a bit untouched, will be the 5 to 10 million, from 30 to 29. Okay, now let's split this further. And then as you're watching this, try to find the row that you're most interested in. Okay, or where your budget is, or if you don't know, your bank will tell you, all right, or your spouse will tell you the kind of budget that you have. So again, if you're looking at this for the first time, take a look at the left. This is the price range, all right? Find the price range you have. Then we have 2 columns. I'll make it a bit simpler, volume and weightage, all right? Volume and weightage. What does this mean to you? Let's just see what kind of trends can we see. Now, $4 to $6 million, you can really see consistently. Of course, you have the 3 to 4 million being the highest, okay, on both years. But 4 to 6 million, we see a significant jump. All right, they grew by 51% and 62%. So from 12 to 14, 20 to 24. Specifically, the $4 to $5 million range. So you try to look at maybe online property guru, etc. You should also know, right? There are a lot of people looking for under 4 million, but literally you can't find a lot. Although they still make up 25%, I believe this weightage is going to shift a bit further this year because there are less and less under 4 million or under $3.5 million landed properties now, unless of course more supply enters the market. Okay. Speaking of which, supply is a very interesting thing because that will change the dynamics because the market is not just determined by a demand. Okay, the number of people selling will determine how many of such houses are available for purchase. And if there's a imbalance between, of course, the buyers and sellers, then you will see that the price may increase as a result. Okay, simple dynamics. So on the other spectrum will be, can you see now at the top right-hand corner, you will see that above 50 millions, we see the biggest drop. Okay, yes, you can say, yeah, there's a lot of rich people looking for houses, etc. But the market has spoken. You see less of them in general. Okay, in general. So above 50 million is only 2%. So we still have sellers. Again, I just had a conversation with my client just now whose house is in the 15 to 20 million range and saying, why is it taking so long? Okay, I just have to say very simple. Every year, 21 such houses are sold. Check the listings. If there are 40 listings, for example, of 15 to 20 million, okay, I use this. All right, which means it will take you 2 years to clear all the stock. Okay, 2 years to clear all the stock. All right, that's one way effectively how these numbers can guide you. So would it take 1 year? Is it alarming? No, not at all. Right? If you are even sold within 1 year, then you're considered fortunate to be one of the 50% that's being sold within the among all the listings. All right. Okay. Of course, by the way, these are numbers for the entire market. You want to look at the various districts, the ICs later, you will see they'll have a much better idea. Okay. Next will be average price. Just now we talked about average price on the total market. Now let's take a look at perspective in terms of price range. All right. Same thing on the left. One very interesting thing, you notice the average PSF across almost all price range are about 2,000, right? 2,000. Even the under 5 million, under 6 million, they are close to $2,000 per square feet already. And interestingly, and this is really a phenomenon only, I think, in first world country or basically say the wealthiest Singapore, where the higher value you go, the PSF actually increases. Okay, the PSF actually increases or stabilizes, so to speak. At least it doesn't decline. So it's not true that if you have a house that's $10 to $12 million, then your PSF must be 20% lower, for example, than 6 to 8 million. That's not true. Okay, that's not true. It has never been true. But now that we pull out these numbers, I think it's a lot clearer to you, right? Likewise, for the same thing as well. So if you are having a smaller house, for example, your price is at 3 to 4 million. Doesn't mean therefore you can ask $2,005 per square feet if your house is normal and average, okay, compared to other houses on sale, for example. Okay, all right. So next, another one for you to take note of is, can you see the average price growth has not changed much, okay, for most of the price range, all right, with the exception of the highest one above $20 million and below 3. A lot are, by the way, 99 years. Okay, later we'll show you. And otherwise, by and large, is about the same. Okay, average price in terms of quantum. And in terms of PSF, just now we saw there's actually an increase, correct? But 3 price ranges of 4, 5 to 6 million, 10 to 20 million actually is not just a drop, it's a very significant drop, right? Very significant drop. So this might be influenced by the way, new and old. The larger you go, by the way, there's a lot of 10 to 50 million now. A lot are actually brand new ones. That versus some of the older ones that you saw, there's actually a very big gap. Okay, it could be as big as $1,000 per square feet, right, between the new and the old. So you will see more distortion or deviation here. Right, then last but not least, we have the above 50 billion, seeing the biggest drop in average price. But this one later, I'll let Will and Cindric share in terms of this, obviously the GCB market. And although there is a very good, healthy growth in the last turnaround, the last fourth quarter, third quarter and fourth quarter, I think the year exceeded in terms of total GCBs transacted. But by and large, the price, average price has dropped, right? The quantum. You don't see as many of the 6-digit, no, I don't call it 6-digit anymore, 3-digit million. So more than 100 million, 80, 90 million being transacted. Okay. right? So to summarize here, so in terms of the bad here, not so much of a good, most are quite average, but you'll see in terms of price range, the volume above 50 million has dropped 10 to 20 million, and of course the above 50 million accordingly, all right? So I hope this serves as a very good summary of the full year landed market, a lot easier for you to digest and understand. And then after that, you put yourself in the position of each of these subcategories, then it'll give you a much clearer picture of where you stand, all right, where your house stands or where the house you're going to buy stands towards this, okay? If not, we shall go next to a very important category, which is therefore then to understand, all right, the various, the movements in the various regions and the districts. Now, before that, sorry, let me just launch this again. It's part of pretty slow. Right, do let us know which district are you planning to buy or sell your house. Okay, I'm sure you already know. It will take more time than I'm doing now to launch the poll. Just hold on. Okay, coming here to share with us. So this is mainly for my leaders here, the district ICs, who are keen to know how many of you here are looking at which district. Okay, let me see. Okay, pardon me, the poll is kind of not working. All right, I apologize for this, but don't worry, just keep it in your heart. Regardless of how many percentage, we will serve you all the same, right, with the right importance. So we'll go, before we go to the regions and districts, just to let you highlight to you again, this is how we dissect, all right, the market. So you have Northeast region, 19, 20, 28. East region on the right side, I'm going now clockwise, all right, 13, 14, 15, 16, Central region 10, 11, and West 21, 28, 23, sorry, which altogether make up more than now 84% of all transactions, all right? So we're going to start this with, of course, my leaders are going to take over. We will start with first East region, right, District 13. Jason, please.
Hi, good evening. Thank you, Willie. Yeah, let me show you for D13 for the start. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, for benefit of for those some of them new, so let me share probably quickly where the D13 come with the mainly Brother Height, McPherson Garden, and CNET. This area, McPherson Garden are more on the smaller unit, like less than 1,000. And likewise for CNET is in the range of 1,000 to 2,000 square feet for terrace. Okay, we go in for a quick glance. Overall, you can see basically what you can see overall transaction for the T13, like what Willie have mentioned, this is a surprise surge all the way up to almost 100% from 52, and it's almost 104 unit in 2024. I will jump into later for a deeper dive later to share with you more information. As for average price increase, generally is 20% from 4.92 to 5.9. And average PSF increase is at 6.3 from 1,008 to 1,009. So what we have shared earlier, we are actually moving into close to 2,000 PSF right now across the board. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Does this mean to you? Okay, let's go down deeper on the terrace side. Terrace, we are seeing average price increase 10.9 or somewhat 11, and likewise for PSF. For the terrace price, actually increased from 3.3 to 3.3, almost 3.7. Hold on. This button. And for the PSF, it's almost up to 2002. Later, I will share more. One of the reasons is because more smaller terrace actually closing for D13. Semi-D price increased 5.8%. From 5.4 to 5.75, and likewise for this PSF increased almost up to 18% to 1,006, almost 1,007 PSF. For detached price slightly declined, probably up to from 14 to 13.59. One of the reasons, some of them are actually order for review. Yeah. And PSF side, slight increase, not much changes, up to 1,006 PSF. This is what we are looking at on the lowest quantum. As I mentioned, Jalan Setia, you can see this is less than 1,000 square feet. So this is the cheapest price. So probably, I would say the lowest price in the whole of 2024. And again, on PSF side, on the other side, you are seeing the lowest PSF, though they actually, what you can see, you are looking at the land size is almost 6,008, but this is very original, very odd shape, so it's probably more on rebuild, and it's also the land is actually quite well. That's why the PSF eventually dropped below 1,000, though the land size is 6,008. On the highest quantum, we are seeing at Sunbridge. This is more on the Bungalow June, this area. So anything with moving condition, the price is easily above 20 million. Yeah. And on the highest PSF, again, we are seeing the lower the land size below 1,000. So selling price, this region right now, price is almost like easily 3 million. But land size is less than 1,000. So that's where the reason why the PSF surged so high. Let me dive a little deeper to share with you where the actually surge come from for 2022 to 2023 and all the way until last year, jumped almost 96%. So this is where one of the main reasons is Terrace take up almost 60%. Of the transaction with smaller plot size of less than 1,005 square feet. Where are all this come from? Mainly from Senior Estate and McPherson. These are a bit of the older estate where they are more of still a lot of more on those smaller land size on the supply. And so what we really have mentioned just now, a lot of new upgraders, mainly from HDB, condo, they're looking the low quantum as entry price. So that's why the one of the reason why there's a surge on the transaction. Next, we are seeing also the PSF. The PSF right now we are seeing more stabilized. The PSF average over here we are seeing almost 1,008 have increased almost 100% from 2023, and as you can see, more than 2,000 PSF is jumped almost 80%. This is one of the main reasons why, because of the smaller terrace, land size, and price is almost 3,000. The price is almost like 3 mil. That's where the PSF go into above 2004. More detailed analysis available here. You can approach your landed consultant who invited you to share more. Next, we have some of the hot listing that you can actually look into for buyer who are keen. We have this D13 Wancho Avenue. This is almost moving condition with asking price only 2,000 PSF. It's 2.5 story. On the other side, semi-D, we are seeing only 6.1 mil with 3,008. This is quite original condition. PSF is only less than 1,006. Next, we are seeing this side, Jalan Mawar. This is at McPherson Estate. Again, this is a 2.5 story. It's almost a move-in. Make some renovation, and probably you can get. And most of the bedroom are en suite actually for this one. For detached, what we are seeing for this one is actually good for subdivision. If anyone looking into like buy a pair and build into a pair of semi-D, this would be ideal. Okay, these are all the results. I think you approach your HLD consultant who invited you to share more. Let me jump into D14. So D14, what we can see here, mainly majority transaction come from Kembangan. Not much on Eunos on the other side, and the other area will be Geylang area. Not as much transaction. But the grants declined by 5%. It's only a difference of about 2 units difference. So generally, D14 transacted is about in the range of between 50 to 55 for the past few years that we are seeing. And not much changes on the price increase, and PSF is about 3%. So we look at the market is almost stabilized in D14. I will share with you more later. So jump into more information, more detail for you on average price for Terrace. We have an increase of 8%. Generally, this is more on the up to 4.1, and these are more on the PSF. For Terrace, I'll share with you more later when I go into deeper dive to share with you more why the price actually increased for 8%. Whereas semi-D and detached, not much changes. Likewise here, what you can see this Jalan Punai, this is actually a 99-year lease. In fact, for D14, only this location and probably not all the unit are 99. And you can see this is 2006, but the PSF is only 1,000. Yeah, so we have lowest PSF and we have the lowest price for lowest quantum for D14. This is because this is D19, and in comparison on highest quantum and highest PSF, we are looking at brand new with the land size. You can look at it's almost below 2,000, and yet with the higher quantum, the PSF does go into 2009. Likewise, on the other side, we have a huge land size, but this is very original. But in terms of location, for Geylang, this area, it can be rebuilt probably into 2 semi-D. Yeah. Go into deeper dive, which I mentioned just now. Mainly what you can see, in fact, we are looking into for price range of 3 to 6 million. This is quite nominated almost 80%, and it's quite stable compared to last year. Almost similar. As such, I think the price range is in the range of 3.5 to 3 to 6 mil, quite stable right now, especially for Terrace. And Terrace right now, we are looking into more into 4 million above. For this Terrace, what you can see over here, the increase generally is because the land size is more than 2,000 as compared to D13. D13, we have a smaller plot size. For D14, we have Terrace generally above 2,000. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why. And we can see that the PSF also quite stable for the last 2 years. It's almost a little bit changes of 0.2. Thus, we see a size of stabilization in terms of price for the Terrace. Likewise, here you can get your HLD to share, consultant to share with you more. Hot listing over here, we have Inter Terrace, Lorong Marzuki. This is almost move-in, 2.5 story. It's only going for 5.2. And on the other side, you can see this is a corner terrace. You have the plot size is 4,004. Good for review or even my A&A or reno. We have actually 5 bedroom. Easily you can park 4 cars over here. Currently 2 cars parking lot, but you can easily park 4 cars. Semi-D over here in Lengkong Satu, we have the similar land size, but this is 2.5 story. Very original condition, looking at 6.15. Yeah. The last one is Detached. This is a brand new Detached TOP end of this year is only going for 11.6 mil. Yep. So these are some of the, okay, that's all for me. I will pass to Justin for D15. Thanks.
Thank you, Jason. Okay, I will bring you through these 350 numbers. Okay, these are how we dice the numbers according to the zone. We have 4 zones: Katong, Chucha, Teluk and Siglap. So just bear with us because some of the numbers we analyze it in according to our zoning demarcation. Okay, now first of all, let's look at the numbers. The transaction has increased by 39%, which is literally can look at it's almost like a 1/4 number of transaction increase compared to 2023. In terms of prices, it's flat. PSF wise, I would say quite healthy, but it stabilizes about 4.9% only. Then for Terrace, semi-D and Detached, you will see overall are in blue. That means everything increases. I'll go a little bit deeper later on for the Terrace, and so that to know what's happened to the terraces and also the semi-D side. In general, Detached in District 15 is defying what you are looking at earlier on. You see the number that's actually as a whole in Singapore is flat, but but nonetheless the Detached in D15 are still sought after. People are still buying D15 Detached. And what I can draw from here is actually you look at especially for CMED, the increase in PSF by 10% was actually proved by some of the brand new houses sold. Later, I'm going to show you more. Okay, records setter. Now this is rule again. If you follow us in Q3, I actually mentioned this in Q3, also in July, and this rule is always being forgotten because it's very close to Kwang Hua School, and it's only had about 8 or 9 landed houses there. So in particular, this one has only transacted 1.6 million, only 1038 PSF. I know a lot of buyers miss it. They come to me, you should tell me earlier that this house is actually in the market. Okay. Then the next would be the number 1 Branson. That was actually record high in terms of the quantum is 29 million because the land size is 13191. So technically, you look at this house is 2191, 2198 is 2001, 2002 probably is the land cost now. And for 70 Cartmel Road, by the way, all our numbers here in the 15 include all the shop houses, residential shop houses. So this one in particular, I put it up here because the PSF was 4070 PSF, which is quite high, but in quantum wise, it's only 2.8 million. Okay, now look a bit a lot because terraces is always the main bulk of the whole transactions. It's about 50%. Then take a look at the Teluk. This actually I find it interesting because the PSF look at it in 2023 is actually 1859 and 2024 is 2277, which is exactly the same like for Siglap 2277. So I've been wondering how come the Teluk PSF was so expensive. Now, will this be going to be the norm in future? Will Teluk houses be more expensive now in Siglap? Actually, because of the houses that was just sold, like I mentioned, these are the 2 new one corner terraces sold, which clocked 2001, above 3000 PSF. And we're looking at 7.8 million for a new corner terrace. But of course, if you look at the build up, it's actually a lot more. Then I would have then to show you this one to give you a lot of actually buyer came to us and say, what is the option that we have to, should I buy a old house to rebuild, or should I buy a brand new? Well, look at the numbers here. If you buy a new old house, 2-story corner terrace, costs you about 3.8 millions. But if you were to rebuild it, it costs about 7.3 millions. Then of course, it's actually depending on whether you have that time, to rebuild. You have the money to actually put into these constructions. Otherwise, some people will just go for the new one, paying 3,000 above 3,000 PSF for a new blender. Okay, the next things I'm going to show you here to walk you through here is actually to look a little bit more on the PSF side. Look at the 3,000s. It's already the weightage is already the 10% of the total 218 number of transactions in 2024. Will 3,000 become a norm in District 15? We have to see. But what I'm going to draw your attention to is actually anything that's actually less than 1,006. this is getting lesser and lesser, but nonetheless, there are a lot more transactions also happening in D15, even in 2024. But what I can tell you is actually, if you were to ask me, are there any more houses that actually in this range of PSF? Yes, we do have, but they are actually a lot more of corner terrace or semi-D. Not so much on terraces, because terraces are easily cost 2,000. Okay, now this is just want to share with you a little bit of what is already transacted at above 3,000, even for Inter Terrace. Look at this 42 Jalan Keris, was a 1,007 land size, but sold at 5.8. PSF is 3,400. Likewise for another one at East Coast Terrace, also sold at 3,400 PSF, which is at 5.5. So this is something that we're looking at. Anything that is actually towards the East Coast side, they actually always pay, people like it because of the location and also the convenience. So people are willing to pay, especially they are very well renovated and already built up. Okay, these are already clocked 3,000. So no longer people are asking, will I be able to get like 4 million kind of like a moving condition, 4.5, even 4.5, 4.8 is also quite hard to get now for a total build of 3.5 story. I thought time is running out, so I have a lot to share, but come to us if you need more information. Okay, listing that we have now is, you can look at this one. I brought this up, all this handpick a few because the quantum and also the PSF. Reason being is for this house is actually very convenient. Can walk to the MRT. The back actually, you can actually go to the bus stop. Going for 3.8 million is quite affordable for Inter Terrace. The next one is Head Road, is a corner terrace, 5.6. I'm looking at actually the PSF 1883. Okay, the location wise is people know there will know. You actually easily can walk to Tanjung Katong Road to have more food and all that. And the next semi-D I'm going to showcase tonight is actually this Sandy Lane. It's only going for 1,007, which is, I would say, something that you will consider, even for rebuild. This can be a land cost. Electric Terrace is something that I would say for 9.5, less than 10 million to get detached is not many. So this is something also would just, I'm going to showcase you here tonight. Okay, so these are listings that we have. Go to your any agents or lender consultant that invited you tonight to come to us. Okay, I'm going to pass on to Michael to share with you more for D16. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Michael, I will cover the 616. We have got 5 sectors in this area, as you can see from the map. What I want to highlight here is that of the 5 areas, Q Drive and Jalan Limau area always command the highest transaction. And this is attributed to the high density of residents there and also a good mix of freehold and leasehold property. How did we perform in 2024? You can see down here that there's an increase by 76% from 78 transactions to 137. And this 137 figure is based on the last 10 years is rank number 4. We have increase in transaction in all the 5 areas that you have seen, with 2 areas exceeding more than 100% increase. In terms of price, as you can see from here, there's an increase by 7.9% to the 4.46 mil. And PSF wise, it has gone up by 12% to a record high of 1,615. Let's look deeper into the transaction. By house type, both terrace and semi-D see an increase. For the average price for terrace house, it has reached close to 4,003,99. And PSF wise is also increased by 12.8% to 1,800 PSF. Semi-D saw increase 3.5% to 4.87 mil. And in PSF, it has also gone up to 1,382 PSF, which is a record high. Detached house, however, saw a decrease, right? In terms of price, it's gone down to 7.46, and PSF wise is 1,066. Let's look at some of the record transaction. Start off with the freehold property. Lowest quantum is 3.38 mil at 39 Jalan Tanjung. And what you see on the right, lowest PSF, it is lower than the 1,000 for a freehold. Why is that so? If you look at the details, this actually is a detached house with a land area of 10,700 square feet, transacted only at 10.05 million. And that's the reason why it has got a low PSF. If you look closely at this particular picture, one of the setbacks I call is because of a long driveway. So perhaps the transaction price in terms of PSF has gone down to the below 1,000 PSF. On the high side, the highest transaction is at 10.6 mil, 9 Lucky Height, and it has a land area of 7,000 square feet. On the right, highest PSF has reached the highest at 2,724, and this is actually a record high at this location, 11 Jalan Pokok Suranai. Attribute to two things. One, that it is a brand new house. It comes with lift and pool, 6 bedroom and 10 bathroom. And that's command highest PSF in District 16. For the leasehold property, lowest quantum is 2.4. If you compare to the freehold earlier on, is 3.38. In terms of PSF, it is also low, as you can see here, 834 for this house at 1 Eastwood Terrace. On the highest transaction, 42 Q height, transacted at 4.1 million, and this is a record high for for leasehold in District 16. And the highest PSF is 1684. The land size of this terrace house is only 1614, and that's always the good reason for a high PSF. Deeper into it, the bulk of transaction in terms of value is from 2 mil to 6 mil, 83% in 2023, and it got up to 86% in 2024. Transaction above 6 million is about there, 12% in 2023 and 10% in 2024. With the highest value transaction for 2024 is 10.6 million versus 15.05 in 2023. In terms of PSF, the bulk of transaction is from 11,11 to 1,008 PSF. 2023 comprised of 63% and 55% in 2024. What is interesting here is that PSF above 18,000, we saw an increase from 23% to 35%. And if you look at the charts right at the bottom, transaction above 2,000 PSF, we see a 191% increase from 11 to 31. And with that, it actually contribute to the overall high PSF, record high PSF in D16, which is 1615. We have got more details in terms of volume, value transaction. Just contact any one of us. We'll be more ready to share with you. Some recommendation for you to consider. Terrace, this one is asking at 5.5 with the PSF of 2076. What is interesting here is that the land size for this Terrace is 2006. And on the right-hand side, we have a corner terrace for sale. And you look at the PSF, price-wise is 5.8, PSF is 1378. And this is actually a good buy, value buy, I would say, corner terrace. The detail includes 7 bedroom, 8 bathroom. They are all en suite, and the room are pretty huge with a land size of 4,002. So this is what we recommend. And 2 more houses, semi-D at Tenet. This is at 56 Tenet Lane. Asking is 6.95 mil, PSF 1688. If you look at the semi-D here, this is actually a corner unit semi-D, white frontage. You can park 3 cars, and at the back of the house, there's a park. And the last recommendation we have here is actually a detached. The current asking price is now 9.8. It was formerly 11 mil, went down to 10.5, and now below 10 mil. For those of you who have the budget, this will be a good buy. And if you look into the detail, it has got 8 bedroom, 9 bathroom, come with lift, with a pool, and a massive built-up area of 11,900 square feet. Besides these four, we also have all the other listings, which you can see here in our website, and we'll be more ready to assist, to help you in any inquiry that you have. So with that, I end 16. I shall pass over to Willie for Central Region. Willie? Oh, Will, sorry, Will.
Hello, hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Will. I'm from the Central District. So right now, I'm going to show you District 10. Let's have a quick glance at D10. D10 is divided into 5 sectors. So the 6th Avenue, Bukit Timah, Holland, Tanglin, and the other small little pocket. Yeah. So take a glance into the today's highlight. So in overall activity for D10 only increased by a marginal of 5% compared to last year. But again, the average price increased significantly by a 35.3%, and the average PSF grew by a 5.6% compared to the year of 2023, coming to an average of 2,410. So you can see on the everything is all in blue. Okay, all right. So with a semi-D, which has a marginal drop of about a 1.1%, and this is due to this time round we do have less new houses, semi-D houses that is being transacted. Therefore, the decline, and of course, people are acting cautious on their purchase. Okay, and of course, for the GCB, you see a significant increase compared to the year of 2023, as there's more semi-D that's transacted in D10 this time round, and of course, there's a lot more. This figure does not show the actual houses that is being transacted, as some of the data is being hyped from the public. Yeah, I would say the price could even go higher. The average price, the average PSF could even go higher. So the charge trooper. So some of the lowest transaction transacted, supposed to be in the year of Q4. This terrace house that was sold for 5.3 million, but please take note, though it had sold at 5.3 million, but the PSF that is being transacted is across the 3,000 mark. And of course, this semi-D and Mount Sinai is only transact at a low PSF of 1762, which is quite hard to come by in D10 right now. So the highest quantum is this GCB in the Holland Park, which is relatively close to Orchard. Just a few minutes drive, you will hit the Tanglin Mall. So again, old house for rebuilt, that's transacted at 44.38 million. And of course, the brand new houses, as mentioned, there's less brand new houses that's being transacted. This happened to be one of them that has sold at 3,751. But again, there's more brand new houses in the market that's currently on sale at a much more higher PSF than this. Okay, some of the interesting thing that you might want to know in D10. So in general, semi-D, okay, one of the most popular house type in both D10 and D11. Compared to year-to-year comparison, you can see that the entire D2024, we have a significant increase of 16%, but prices has compared since after pandemic of 2021, 2022, 2023, where it start to experience a drop of a minor drop of 1.1. So you can see buyers are still looking for they are looking for good buy within this price range, mainly because houses this time around transacted in the year 2024 are mainly smaller or older house for rebuild. Hence, the price hover between the 8 slightly less than 8 million mark. Yeah, so it come out to be these prices. And of course, but PSF continued to rise for the consistently for the past 4 years. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so next you will see some of the prices. So again, the 8 to 10 million range, what type of houses actually transacted are mainly the semi-D. For the year of 2023, semi-D represents up to 90% of, while along the way you still can find some detached or some maybe corner terrace. Yep, that is being transacted in the year of 2023, while going towards 2024, which is last year. In fact, 99% that's being transacted are semi-Ds. Only for 199 leasehold detached that is being sold at within the 8 to 9, slightly below 10 million range. And of course, 2023 GCB doesn't perform as good as the year of 2024. So you can see overall a jump of about a 10%. And of course, detached previously at 2023 was making up about 25%, and this time around detached is hovering about 15%, of which one of the unit closer to the Tanglin area, or rather the Orchard area, has transacted at a significantly $3,000 over PSF. Okay, and it's actually a whole house that will require rebuild. Yeah. So more market analysis are available. Just reach out to any of your agents who have invited you, or any of the HLD agents who have got you over. So some of the hot listing, I would like to highlight this particular listing. So as I mentioned, average price for semi-D has hovered on the average price of 2,400 niche, and we got this particular house right here, semi-D, as selling below the 2,000 mark. This is actually quite value for money. And of course, if you are looking for a more renovated home, of course, you need to pay slightly a premium over it. And on top, this house over at Grove have a very beautiful view at the back as it faces the park. And of course, if you are sensitive in terms of PSF and you are concerned about spending too much, this detached home at the Holland Grove is also quite a value buy, with front giving you a unblocked view and back also quite far away from neighbor, give you ample privacy. Next, the upcoming detached home. This house at Jalan Haji Alias has a very nice frontage of more than 15 meters and a very sizable land. Ample of garden space, build-wise is, I think, quite palatable. For most of us, it's a good space, ample space for you to park, ample space, indoor space and outdoor space, which is also very ideal for homestay. But if you decided to tear it down, this particular land can allow you to build up to about more than 10,000 square feet of indoor usable space. Okay, more houses are available. Just reach out to any of the agent who have engaged you guys to come over for this webinar. Next, dive into D11. D11, again, we also demarcate the houses, or rather the zoning, into a couple of areas. So we got the Swiss Club Daniel, Novena, and others. So, sorry. Okay. Okay, so let's bring it deeper into the thing. So D11 this time round did not perform as good as a neighbor D10 or the bigger brother. So you see a decline in the activity of 14%. Price came down by 21. Average PSF dropped by almost a 2%. So again, all rate, except for Terrace, in terms of numbers, it achieved about close to, I mean, at 14.5, close to 15, of which only 2 of them are new. The rest are all resale. So you can see price do increase, but in terms of PSF, it did drop quite a fair bit by 7.3. Semi-D wise declined significantly because firstly, these are houses that are not sold. Houses that are sold are not in a very favorable location. Got quite a fair bit of noise. And of course, as mentioned, all these semi-Ds, right? Some of them are also brand new that did not fulfill up to, I mean, did come across 3,000, but the older house actually pulled out the average PSF. All right, so for detached, not much of transaction. From previously, we got about 21 million. This time round, all smaller land plot, but it also reflects what is being sold in the recent market. For example, houses in Terrace area was somewhere hovering between the 14 million mark, 14-15 million mark on that average. PSF declined mainly because of some of the older houses, like for example, houses at Shrewsbury's that pulled out, Kim Hock area closer to the expressway, that actually pulled the value down. But again, houses with good condition, wide frontage, hover around the 3,000 PSF, okay, above. For GCB wise, sorry, there's only also a couple. It dropped quite significantly, but price still increased. Average PSF. So record low quantum that's being transacted is this semi-D. I would say whoever who bought this gain from this unit. So at a 6 million, at a about close to 6.4 million, so at only 2,118, which is relatively low. This house is meant for rebuild and is literally close to the Novena area. So it's pretty good buy. And of course, semi-D next to Wharton Drive. This house is next to the main road. So you experience quite a fair bit of noise. So lower PSF at 1,545. So Trevor's house, this house caught me by surprise. Transacted, though it is sold at 18 million, but please take note of the PSF is only at 2,214. So this really caught me by surprise with a sizable land of 8,000 or 8,131 square feet of land. So pretty sizable. And of course, the highest PSF is this particular house at Wharton Heights with park facing. Old house layout still quite okay, but PSF is slightly on the high, but buyer accept it because of the location and of course with the park facing, which is quite hard to come by. So dive into the analysis, deeper analysis of the entire D11. In terms of PSF, you can see houses still fall within the 2,005 to 2,500 PSF to more than 3,000, but you can see there's a drop in terms of numbers. From 2023, you got 62%, while this year you got 59%. So in terms of value, it dropped significantly. For the $3,000 and above, it dropped by 24%. Okay, it dropped by 24%. Okay, what actually causes that? So 90% of during the 2023, more than, I would say 90% of the house that has exceeded the 3,000, yeah, are brand new. But coming to 2024, there are less new home that is being transacted. So it actually pulled out the entire average price for those, I mean, for the 3,000 PSF houses. Okay, sorry. So next, we are going to go into this chart here. You can see. So as I mentioned, only detached have the semi-D enjoy a positive growth of 40.1 or 40.7, sorry. Whereas the rest have a drop. Okay, you can see the entire after 2023, all house types, semi-D, detached, and GCB dropped significantly. Yeah. So the only, okay, as mentioned above, only Terrace enjoyed a significant growth in terms of price. Yeah, and the rest experienced a decline. So again, more data is available. Do reach out to any of our consultants. And some of the hot buy listings, if you are talking about value, 8 million, This probably will be the one at boxing, but PSF is at 3,600. The next home that is available in the market, this house is at Hillcrest, so it's literally 1 km to both our Raffles Girls as well as Nanyang. So asking at 8.28. Next, houses, semi-D houses that has a land size of more than 4,000. Is this unit at Jalan Anggas? Sizable land of detached at 13.5. And for semi-D at Jalan Seni, next to park, okay, close to park, very close by, is only asking for 10.8. Okay, some of the database data, I mean, that we have in our database to reach out to us. Yeah. So next, right now, I pass it to Sean to explain more on the Northeast region. Sean, please.
All right, thank you, Will. How's everyone doing? I think every year, especially this first episode of the year, brings a lot of challenges, a lot of analysis on our part. So I'd like to, at this point, try to pivot a little bit away from, towards the main question that most of our viewers tonight might have in mind. All right, so starting with District 19. 19 has always been like the pulse of the entire landed market because given the sheer volume. So in fact, this year we have surpassed again more than 300 units transacted just in District 19 alone. So this is by no means a very small amount. And what it can reveal more is really a lot onto the buying and selling patterns. All right. So even at face value, again, how we analyze most of our data is really based on average value. So the average values actually are kind of going to be affected a lot based on seasonality. So for instance, for District 19, we see a lot more terraces that are being sold, and some of them are actually of a smaller land size and also based on the condition of the house. So all these numbers, again, do fluctuate from quarter to quarter. But overall, District 19 has shown that across the board, there is kind of like a correlation between the number of houses transacted from terraces as well as for the semi-Ds. Okay. So again, for what it really means to the buyers and sellers, oftentimes you must be wondering, is this the right time to sell? Is this the right time to buy? Or even for some, is this the right time to upgrade? And oftentimes, just basing on face value from some of the reports that is publicly available, a lot of details are actually not made available to the public. So example, the number of rooms, the condition of the house. So this actually plays a very strong part in determining what is the market value. So again, all these values, just to kind of highlight again, are based on what willing buyers, willing sellers have transacted at. So our purpose really tonight is to shed more light as to some of the benchmarkers, how it determines what the market forces have set in the previous year and how it's going to set the pace for 2025. Right, so the chart toppers are something quite interesting. So this represents what is the lowest and what are the highest kind of value points and PSFs that have actually buyers and sellers are willing. So for the lowest quantum, again, this will be no surprise in terms of land size. Usually for lowest quantum, it's correlated again to the land size condition as well. So for District 19, again, depending on location, certain areas have a bigger draw, a bigger pool of buyers. So when we look at terraces, I think for this kind of quantum will be more appealing to first-time landed buyers. This will generally be younger in nature or with school-going children or new children expecting new kids along the way. So these are kind of forward planning. So of course, they would be more or less more price sensitive, quantum sensitive in a sense. So between the 3 to 4 million, usually we'll see a higher rise in terms of the demand for younger parents, as well as the PSF would generally be a bit higher. It's a relative affordability. Okay. And on the other spectrum, for the lowest PSF, oftentimes we need to take this with a pinch of salt. So no house is actually equal. So for the Jensen Road, this actually is a very long driveway. So when you dive really deeply into all this data to really analyze and dissect each of the transactions, the 300 over transactions, then you can really kind of pinpoint why certain houses have transacted above expectations, why some have transacted below expectations. So example, again, back to the Jensen, a lot of this land that is part of the 8,000 plus square feet will be so-called like just your driveway. All right, so definitely this corresponds again to the ultimate PSF based on the total land value. Earlier, I think somebody in the audience asked, how do we calculate the PSF? All right, this will be based on the land area. So what we don't know, in fact, no reports will actually be as detailed as what we do at Hartness Learned Division, where we actually analyze the estimated built up for some houses. Most of the houses, we have actually seen and understood the actual kind of estimated built up to give you a better indicative. Right? One way of analyzing also of late will be the PSF based on the build up. Okay, on the other spectrum, these are what people are willing to pay for something that is new. All right, on the right hand side, you can see for the brand new houses, again, this offers a lot of convenience. So oftentimes, again, for those in the audience looking to buy, you can buy at various conditions. You can buy something that is a single story like the one at Brighton. You can buy something at the other end of the spectrum, which is a fully newly built house with a highest possible kind of built up area. Again, this depends on your family's needs. So again, some of the values, the quantum will kind of come into play. Some of these terraces, brand new ones, may surpass some of the semi-Ds in the same district, in the same estate. So depends really on what you're looking out for, or how comfortable are the buyers looking to, possibility for renovations, A&A, recon, or possibly a full rebuild. So again, these are needles to kind of really stick and pin down what are the highest and lowest for each districts for last year. Right, again, for the 99 leasehold, this will be something that offers an intermediary kind of accommodation, and to some, it will also be somewhat like an investment per se, because what this offers is, the kind of space value. So something like these two houses have a built up of more than 3,000 square feet in comparison to some of the condos, right? Very rarely you can see this kind of built up even for the penthouse units, for example, but nowhere near the kind of quantum. So it really depends on the needs of the families. Okay, and most often the 99 leasehold houses would have been kind of fully maximized. So interestingly, we have over here on the left, this is one of our pride and joy of District 19. So if you have been following us on YouTube and our Facebook pages on Hartness Learned Division, you notice that this has been featured recently in our monthly live open house episode. So to see how this house really stands out from the rest of the competition, something that is beautifully maximized with a pool and really moving condition. So a house like this, despite being 99, there's always the least decay that is working against you, but yet at the same time, don't mind the little typo over there. This house actually presents a lot of kind of upside in the sense of the livability of the space, the rentability as well for the area, and definitely something that is totally move-in condition. So as we dive deeper into District 19, so oftentimes, again, for the PSF as well as the quantum, so regardless of districts, I think what we have concluded from many, many years ago since the start, landed has a scarcity, right? Its supply is always going to be limited. And definitely across the years, you see a kind of like an irreversible upward trend, or the more with all this, kind of cooling measures and kind of protection schemes in place to make sure that the market stays robust yet sustainable. So you can see still a little healthy growth year to year. But what we can really see is, again, the comparison between the house types within a district. So earlier, some of the analysis actually covered the average for the island based on the quantums. But if we go down to the micro level, we can really understand more as to the kind of the quantum mechanics at play. So again, the terraces now surpassing 4 million. And the next jump logically will be to a semi-detached for those who are looking more for the space and luxury. But yet you see no square foot is equal, even between terraces and semi-Ds. The average prices have been different. Right, from almost a 2,000 PSF for terrace relative to semi-Ds, which are going to be still hovering closer to 1,007. Right, so with this gap, so-called certain periods, you can notice certain gaps, terraces are outperforming semi-Ds. Is this the right time to upgrade? Vice versa, is it the time to actually exit from a detached and maybe resize into something more palatable, such as terraces? Again, we have many analysis for all these different types based on your estate house types, right? So reach out to any of the Hartness Learned consultants to get more details. So we feature usually several houses that really stand out over the course of the last quarter, the last few months. So for Terrace, this is one of the very rare already TOP'd unit in Kovan. So this house provides a really excellent location for those who are commuting. So again, you can see again the kind of the needs of families. So a lot of them, they prioritize the convenience, the accessibility to, amenities and transport nodes. So a house like Simon Road offers the best value, but this value is actually intrinsic, right? So being walking distance to MRT, having something that is brand new, despite the land size, right, is fully maximized. So oftentimes for Kovan, we see actually they are neck on neck with Serangoon Gardens in terms of the number of transactions. Albeit that Kovan, we can have a larger built-up area because you can potentially go up to 3.5 stories, as opposed to Serangoon Gardens, which is only 2.5 stories, right? And to the right, this will be something that is more towards the classic era of Kovan. Something, although well-built, again, it offers good utility for most households, given that it's already 4+1 bedrooms. So all this information, more information on these houses, some of the 3D scans. We have one of the largest collection of 3D scans for all our combined listings. Do reach out to any of our consultants for more. Similarly, for semi-D, this one at Lange Road offers a rather decent value in the sense that it's a fully maximized. So when we really look at it and really understand deeper, not all semi-D that is fully built up is the same. All right. So Lange Road, 3.5 stories. Although a lot of times, depending on the condition of the house, it will ultimately affect the final transacted value. Okay, as opposed to, let's say, the detached, something that is brand new, right? Very nice land. This is also very conveniently located. This has been on the market, with many, many offers. And oftentimes we see that the buyer pool comes from within, all right? Staying in, example, District 19, growing up in District 19, there's still going to be the kind of allure towards the estate. So those of you that are looking and exploring more options other than these 4 that are being shown, do reach out to any of us to get more details for the houses currently on sale in the market. Right, so these are some examples of just the numbers that are known to us that are currently marketed and available for viewings. So quickly jumping to District 20. 20 has been, again, one of the more interesting districts, being that it's actually the highest, relatively the highest kind of PSF and kind of demand in the whole Northeast, because solely of the proximity value. We have many good schools within 1 km, Itong Catholic High, CHIJ, and also for the Thomson East Coast Line running through its course. So we don't see as much a robust kind of transactions compared to District 19, but yet most of these actually are translated to the terraces and semi. Again, a similar correlation. So for terraces, for the first time, for a very long time, you can see actually the average value has declined. So taking this at surface level, we won't be able to understand. Doesn't mean that, terraces are doing badly. So later in the other slides, I'll show you exactly why this value actually happened, right? So again, the needles to pinpoint what are the lowest and highest. So something like Saving Road, this is something that is towards the Thomson Garden area. A lot of the houses there are below 1,000 square feet of land, all right? Again, the PSF and everything is going to be on the higher side because of the relative affordability. On the other spectrum, there's going to be a single-story house. So this generally is for rebuild as well. So these are the kind of benchmarks per se, right? So you still can find something just hovering around 1,000 PSF. But again, every house has its pitfalls. Every house has things that are not seen to the naked eye. So example would be sewer lines, road setbacks, all this. So you really need a trained eye with a lot of experience, collated experience, to really give you a more informed, allow you to make a more informed decision before purchasing any house, especially if it's something that is going to be rebuilt. Okay, on the other spectrum, this is one very, very nicely built. Berjaya has, by standards, many, many large lands, all right? It's highly sought after. I think a lot of Bukit Timah, Siglap homeowners are looking to upgrade in terms of land size, will look towards District 20, being very centralized. So Berjaya area, you have the convenience of being very near to Bishan as well as Marymount, and commuting to and fro island-wide is very centralized. So this house was a beautifully renovated, beautifully built house. A lot of meticulous details went to it, and it still managed to cross the 2,000 PSF, which is quite rare, all right, in relation to something that has been built quite a number of years ago. All right, on the other side will be Thomson Garden area. Again, these are smaller houses, but in this case, it's more or less already almost fully maximized. right? For District 20, we don't have many areas that can go up to 3.5 stories. Jalan Isnin is one of them. So having an extra level offers more utility, more number of rooms, and definitely in terms of the affordability, is still within the 3 to 4 million mark for something that is under 1,000 square feet. Conversely, for the 99 leasehold, there's only very few locations in District 20 that has 99. So Sanik's has seen a lot of activities in the last 2 years, in fact. So these are like entry levels. Again, most of them we see upgrading from HDB and condos, looking to have a good start for their daughters to enter towards CHIJ. All right. So most of them, you notice the whole street will be a very conducive environment, a lot of little girls in blue all walking together to school together. So this is something that has a very distinctive allure, right? Casuarina Walk will be again something more towards people who are looking for value and space closer to nature. So these are two of the main 99 leasehold areas. And again, not surprisingly for Casuarina and St. Nicholas, this will definitely form the highest quantum and PSF for 99. Right, to know more about these details, again, depending on the condition of the house as well, right, do reach out to any one of us. Diving deeper, earlier I mentioned why there was a decline actually in the value. So for terraces, looking deeper, right, so we can actually classify houses by the types of built up, the kind, whether it's fully maximized or not. So for the whole of 2024, there were fewer brand new units sold in District 20. So this is quite low in comparison to the last few years. Most of them, you notice, will be those that are not fully maximized. So the bulk of it actually are 2 stories. So it presents a very interesting proposal in a sense. Do you then, are you satisfied with a 2-story? Is it sufficient based on the condition of the house? Are you looking to actually add on another half story, or are you looking to rebuild, right? So all this in place, again, another correlation will be on the land size. So interestingly, actually, there are more units last year sold that is above 1,005 square feet. So definitely this will skew the data a little bit in terms of the PSF and the value price, right? So with actually fewer brand new, fewer move-in condition houses, generally you see the PSF kind of hover or stagnate. Similarly for the value itself. Okay, same for the semi-Ds. So this year we saw a surge again in the semi-Ds finally, but yet based on location as well. If you look at even for the land sizes, I think most semi-D home or seekers will be looking for something that is between 3,000 to 4,000. So this is something that District 20 has a lot to offer, but yet depending on the condition of the houses. So for last year, you see more houses being sold that are actually brand new in District 20, right? Fewer that is a single story. So again, a bump in the value as well as a slight bump in the average PSF. So all this, take it with a pinch of salt to really understand, how much is my house worth? Is this house worth buying? A lot more detail. It's more of a journey that we really have to dive in to really dissect what has been sold, what is available on the market, so that you can make the best possible decision. Okay, so generally, this is something that most of the viewers out there will be used to. This is open to public based on URA. You only know the sale price, dates, land size. That's it. Location may not be as detailed, all right? What we offer is something way more detailed, right? Based on transactions, based down to more than 40 different unique qualities to really assist you to kind of understand better what is the market sentiment, how much value a certain house is actually able to fetch versus what is on the market, right? So for this, do reach out to any one of us in HLD. So more detailed analysis, I think we have more than easily 60 to 70, depending on your needs. Right, so for District 20, again, I think most of the houses that have been transacted or the buyers are looking, sorry for the time, let's move a bit faster. A lot of people are preferring something that is more towards moving condition, right? So for this round, showcasing you more value for money. So on the left, something that is beautifully curated. This will be in Sampang Hills, within 1 km to Sanex. On the right, those that are looking for space. This is one of the larger corner terraces at Mei Hwan area. If you need to park many cars, this is probably the house for you. Again, every house has its pros and cons. Reach out to us for more information, 3D scan and videos. Similarly, for the semi-D, the one on the left is probably the most value for money. Many offers pouring in. And towards the right, this will be a subdivisible detached in Clover area. So some of these houses have been featured on our live open house as well. Do reach out to our social media portals to get more. Right, so District 28, sorry, you have me for 3 districts. Okay, need to speed up a bit. 28, we will have scripted out the entire Poland collection. All right, so there is about close to 60 units for Poland collections transacted last year. Removing all that, I'll skip through all this to go straight to the chart toppers first. So a lot of times, District 28, very large lands, very low PSF. On the other spectrum, smaller land size, higher PSF. All right, and depending on the condition as well. Sunrise, 3.5 story, you're selling a 2-story structure, definitely in terms of the PSF will be lower in relation to the rest of the areas. On the other spectrum, always we see Luxus Hills having the highest PSF. So this is actually a new record for Luxus Hills, something that is a cookie cutter style, plug and play, 5+1 bedrooms, and literally with lift and moving condition. Something that is more unusual will be something that is a moving condition detached. So this is something of a trendsetter again. All right, so it's not uncommon to see transactions in District 28 that's above 10 million. All right, so this is a beautiful house, subdivisible again, but I think the buyer that bought this already bought and can appreciate the kind of value. So 28 is a very serene, a very private area that most people actually for District 28 is the most value for money district. All right, yet you enjoy being as close to the neighbors, being District 20, District 19. Okay, conversely, for the 99, most of them will be in Saraka area. So I'll just skim through this. And for the highest, this will be, we start to see the kind of, the emergence of, you know, the Bukit Sambawang developments, the 99 leasehold. So now you see NIM, next you see Poland, maybe after that you see Belgravia. So all these are to be expected. So will they set a new trend moving forward to elevate the entire area of District 28? That remains to be known. Right, again, for terraces, what is truly unique is there are very, very few single stories that have been transacted in 2024. Right, majority 2 stories or those that are fully maximized. Again, these are alternatives between choosing between Luxus Hills. This offers you a much better value per se. Right, diving deeper, you notice also most of these terraces actually still you can fetch below 4 million. Those will be 2 stories. Fully maximized, they will be just slightly above 4 million. So compared to, let's say, your District 19 and District 20 counterparts, there is value to be had over here. All right. Of course, with the revitalization of District 28, having a new slew of, you know, upcoming high-tech parks, all this just bordering Jalan Kayu and Seletar, this area may see, you know, kind of a revitalization, and it's already seeing the effects of this, all right, from 2024. These are without Poland, so it's a very comfortable 37% increment. Okay, similarly for semi-Ds, brand new ones, we see a resurgence of brand news in District 28. In fact, now there's only 2 brand new that is already available TOP units. But otherwise, most of the units that are sold, that's why this is a very interesting quantum style. 4 to 5 million, where can you find, you know, a semi-D? All right, there's even a 2-story. You go for either, based on this quantum, you go for something that is with the big build-up, a terrace, for example, in District 19, or you can go for something that has a much larger base area, all right, bigger land size, that still can serve your family's purposes. Right, and to highlight some of the very few interesting ones that we have many viewings, these are the inter terraces, corner terraces that you see. Again, the trend is this, something that offers you a lot of ready space. Of course, depending on the condition, affects the PSF. On the converse of it, for semi-Ds, this will be quite subjective, all right? These two will be more or less a pretty unique sense. At Nim Road, this is subdivisible. Again, these are lands that are quite common in District 28. On the left, this is a very unique back-to-back semi-D. So if you want something that you want to live in a semi-D, but you feel like you're living in a detached, this is one street in District 28 that really stands out. All right. Again, any of this, do reach out to any of those agents or consultants that invited you for the night. Right. With that, we've concluded Northeast. One more this area to go. Hand over to Cindric.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, time is catching up, so I'll move as fast as I can. Okay, going through the West region, last region, District 21 first. Okay, these are the various subzones that we have segregated the houses into. Do refer to your slides if you have the time. Okay, so for District 21, there are less transaction this time around for 2024. Actually, it 20% translate to about 12 units lesser. The average price decreased by 18+%, which we'll dive deeper. But the average PSF is still climbing. Okay, there's a bit of skew transaction. That's why the price kind of decreased. So, okay, if you look at the Terrace is the one that is doing a stellar performance a price which is still in the black. Okay, average price increased by 1.5. PSF wise has climbed by pretty impressive 18.6%. While the rest semi-Ds and detached have seen some decline. Okay, so basically a lot transactions are going for the terrace houses, whereas semi-D and detached are more muted. Okay, so for the chart toppers, firstly, the lowest transaction for the freehold and the 999. If you look at this one on the left, Yukdong, 111 Yukdong Avenue. What does it say? Basically, it tells us that as far as D21 is concerned, the lowest quantum right now is already 4 million. If you want to find anything 3+ mil, sorry, you gotta look for other districts. So D21 being pretty central as well, near to D11 and 10. Yeah, this is the price. So Inter Terrace, 4 million, and then the lowest PSF is this one along the main artery serving all the Cheng Soon, Totap area, Toi area houses. That's why this one being on the main road, so-called, okay, main artery into this estate. That's why the PSF is quite muted at 1300. Okay. Now for the highest chart toppers, then it's no-brainer. Sunset. It's either Sunset or Huoguan usually. Okay, so for this time round, for last year, the highest quantum transacted is this house. Basically, it's 100% moving condition. Pretty newly renovated a few years back. Okay, so because of a whopping land size, it was sold for 20 mil. Okay, and then the highest PSF, no-brainer, always goes to Kismis Residences. Okay, this fairly new. Inter Terraces, comes with lift, comes with pool at the rooftop. The prices has already crossed 3,000. Last year, we were expecting it to touch 3,000. True enough, yeah, the highest transacted was 3091. So, okay, if you're looking for something, you don't have to work much on it, then yeah, this is the house to go for the Inter Terraces. It's about 5 million, slightly under 5 million. Okay, diving deeper then, okay, District 21, basically, the most sought after district, the most sought after zones or houses within District 21 tend to always be Jurong Kechil area. Okay, with the not just number of transactions, but look at the prices. Okay, in terms of PSF and the average quantum price, they are still in the positive, they're still climbing, whereas the rest, other areas have seen some decline. Okay, especially Upper Danyan area. So what does it tell us? So Jurong Kechil and Toi area are the most popular zones. Just a thought that I throw out. I was just wondering to myself, could the beauty world transformation have some effect on it that causes buyer, that pulls buyer to this area? Because Jurong Kechil, Toi, there are more malls coming. The MRT is right there, very short walking distance, popular area. So this is something, some interesting trend that we observe for this District 21. Okay, so more details. If you want to find out more on trends on the transaction of different various houses, feel free to approach us. Okay, some hot listings that we want to highlight. Okay, not many terraces available in D21, so this is one of them currently available. Clementi near Sunset, very popular area, convenient. Okay, pretty good land size, 2,000, going for 6 mil. And quantum, PSF is high, but quantum is still palatable. Okay, the next one that I really want to stress is this one at Jalan Selanting. It's brand new. And brand new, and the overall quantum is 8 mil plus. You look at the PSF, it's below 3,000. So this one of which is already sold. Okay, so only last unit left. Okay, very nice enclave, quiet street. Houses are pretty nicely spaced apart. So and walking pretty close to all the bustling shop houses at this Chunting area. Okay, the other one is a detached house. This is a Balinese style detached at Hua Guan area. Okay, Hua Guan, very popular among those that really wants to be at Bukit Timah, but don't want to pay the D11 prices. Okay, so this is I would say it's a move-in house. So previously was tenanted, but the owner kept it in pretty good, pristine condition. Okay, 4,800 square feet of land size, asking 12 mil, and price is still negotiable. So I think the asking is pretty reasonable. Used to be calling higher, yes, dropped now to 12.3. Okay, last but not least, for something that is brand new, is this detached house at Kismis area. Okay, asking 14.5 mil. Okay, brand new, 8 or more rooms, comes with pool and lift. Okay, for more listings, do feel free to approach any of us in HLD. Okay, we'll dive lastly to the last district, which is D23. These are all the various subzones within D23. Okay, at a glance, there are more active transactions last year versus 2023. 10% translates to about 6 units more. Okay, average price has increased 17 plus percent. 17 plus percent, and I want you all to focus more on the PSF, which is more accurate, reflective of the price. Why 17 plus percent is a bit skewed is because of the GCB, okay, which we'll see here on the next page. Okay, Terrace house, not much difference. It's only about 1% plus dip in the quantum price. The PSF wise, however, has increased 9.6%. As for the semi-D sector, okay, it's decreased by 1+%. PSF has increased by 6.6. Okay, so the PSF is actually more reflective of the actual market condition, and not so much on the quantum transaction. Whereas detached wise, okay, it has shown to decrease 15.9%. A bit, not many units. Both years only 2023 detached household, and 2024 also only 3 detached household. So a bit of outlier transaction only skewers the whole percentage numbers quite significantly. For 2024, for this district, there was 199-year leasehold detached that was sold. That's why quantum low lah, so it kind of skewered the average price. Okay, GCB wise also a huge average price jump, 131%, pretty scary. It's mainly due to only one boutique, because the previous year in 2023 there was only one small boutique GCB, small house lah, 6,000 square feet within GCB zone, that was sold, versus 4 much bigger size GCB transacted in 2024. That's why you see the figure is like pretty scary. It jumped by 131%. Okay, so okay, the lowest transacted in 2024. We talk about the freehold and 99-year first. Later we'll talk about 99-year leasehold properties. Lowest quantum was this house at Jalan Gumilang, Hillview area. Okay, sold at 3.5 mil, and then this GCB at Chestnut Drive. Okay, the PSF, the quantum was 50 million. Okay, 15.5, but the PSF is only 1,000 square feet. Only GCB zone in D23. For those who are price conscious, especially when conscious about PSF, then Chestnut is the place to hunt for good price GCB. Okay. Next. Okay, for highest transaction, it was this 57 Chestnut Drive, sold for 25 mil. Okay. Still reasonable. If you look at PSF, it's only 1,004 plus, and the land is 17,000 square feet. Okay, and no-brainer always consistently, Pavilion takes the cake for the highest PSF for D23. Why? Fairly new, a bit like Kismis Residence, the same thing. Fairly new, and freehold. Yeah, that's the most important. Okay, so the terrace houses here are all freehold and still palatable at 4 mil. Okay, and the PSF is 25 plus, almost 2006. Okay, let's talk about the 99-year leasehold. Why? Because District 23 has got the most number of 99-year leasehold transactions. So it's important that we thought for us to highlight. The lowest one is always goes to this enclave, like Jalan Asas, Jalan Uji area, because why the lease is only down to 20 plus years, 23 years if I'm not wrong. Okay, so this one is only less than a mil, 660,000. Okay, and then the same house also takes the cake for the lowest PSF, 230 PSF only. So, okay. And the highest for the 99-year lease, so is this one, detached house along Almond Street. Okay, sold for 5.25 mil. 7,000 plus square feet, very good size. Okay, and it's only sold for 5.25 mil. This price you can't even buy a freehold semi sometimes, right? So, and then for the PSF wise, highest PSF transacted at this house, Verdi area, 1,700 PSF. Okay. Now deeper dive. Okay, we look at this chart over here. It basically tells us that, in terms of the most popular price range, right, for D23, not much changes. Again, not much difference. They are all, majority of them are still hovering around the 2 mil to right below under 5 mil mark. However, I'd like to highlight to you that you've noticed the weightage wise, they are the houses under the higher brackets from 3 to 5 mil has seen a bigger weightage now versus the previous year. What does it mean? It's basically telling us that the houses the prices of the houses are moving upwards, still downwards, with more houses selling, even though the overall bracket still within 2 to 5 mil range, but there are more houses transacted at the higher brackets from 3 to 5 mil than the previous year. So will this be the trend? Will the next year trend be like, moving up one more bracket from here? That means moving to the 5 to 6 mil. We have to see how the market moves this year then. Okay. So, and then interestingly, something to highlight also for D23, okay, there are significantly more houses transacted above 1,008 PSF, accounting to a third of all transactions, okay, in 2024. So perhaps we need to add more brackets over here to reflect 1,008 to 1,009 PSF going forward, right? Because seeing that actually a third of the houses are already transacted above 1,000 PSF. So this is the trend for D23. Interestingly, a district whereby it caters to a lot of upgraders, HDB dwellers upgrading to their first landed properties. A lot of them move to D23. Okay. So if you want to find more, do feel free to approach us. And then some hot listings just to highlight to you. Burgundy, popular semi-D, 99-year leasehold semi-Ds. For those looking at a value buy semi-Ds, you want to stay in a semi-D and yet you don't want to spend too much, above 5 mil range. You still can find 3+ mil semi-Ds, not inter-terrace, 3+ mil at Burgundy Drive. Burgundy Enclave. And then there's this, if you're price conscious, you want to find a good size detached house and don't want to pay above 10 mil, the next house, I want to highlight to you this house selling at the Galistan Avenue. Galistan is opposite Teck Whye Lane, Teck Whye housing estate. Okay, land 7,000+ and is asking only be below 10, 9.5. And if you're price conscious, wanting to enter the GCB market, and don't want to pay like 3,000 PSF, then Chestnut is a good it's one of the enclave you can find value by GCBs. Okay, though they are more boutique size, about 9,000 square feet, but the overall quantum, will not burn a deep hole in your pocket lah. Okay, and yet you can enjoy, though need some renovation modification, okay, but it's still a good sized land and a GCB status house. Okay, so these are all the houses available for D23. Do feel free to approach us if you want to find out more. So I'll lastly hand the time back to Willie. We'll conclude today's webinar for us. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Cindric, and all the gentlemen for all their hard work in pulling out all the numbers. How do you feel so far? Is it very comprehensive? Managed to learn a lot, even for me, who's very active in the market, like our leaders here. Frankly, a lot of insights. All right. So now, after we've seen 2024, again, like I said, we're back to the outlook. With all the numbers, I hope you have seen one thing. Despite there's only, 74,000 houses in the market, you can see so much deviations, right? So much differences in terms of price range, in terms of sizes, in terms of what is in demand in the various parts of a very small country like Singapore, all right? So with this in mind, what's going to happen, all right, with in 2025? Is it going to be as robust growth in the last first 3 years after COVID, etc.? So I'm going to make this a bit simpler, again, for all of us to understand. Obviously, nobody has the crystal ball. If we know what's going to happen, we will have probably invested in some ourselves, right? But generally, based on what we have known so far, and very importantly, the insights, okay, what we are feeling off the ground now. That's why a lot of people are coming to us, because insights you can't read off charts or tables or reports. You really have to be on the ground, and that's what I think our entire team has been doing. And collectively, we gathered, I think, this upcoming few predictions, right, for the year. So first thing, most straightforward, put it there, global economy. I'm not going to even elaborate further. We have read enough about the macroeconomic and as well as the geopolitical uncertainties. I will elaborate further. I think that is something that is worrying a lot of business owners, a lot of homeowners, economists, politicians, etc. All right. So hopefully, let's hope the year ends well for all of us. All right, globally. Now, local economy, I think we have done very well. The last year is a 4% growth in GDP, even surpassed economists' expectations. But for 2025, I think it's been more conservative at 1 to 3%. I call that somewhere in the middle, not too bad. All right, it's not good, not bad, etc. But bear in mind, 1 to 3 is a lot of difference, right? If it's a 1.1 versus 2.9. So I call that, by the way, in the middle, the swinging factor, because it could be good, it could be bad towards the end of the year because of too much uncertainty. Okay. Inflation and interest rates. Obviously, one of the reasons that have caused more buyers to enter the market is a dropping of interest rate. I think just 2 years ago, there was at 4.5%, and towards just last month is really now dropped to 2.5%, so to speak. So a lot of buyers have actually entered. However, right, that also means that because now this interest rate is a very interesting thing for the more affluent people, because with high interest rate means those who are more cash rich, they're actually generating more returns, right, from their investments, savings, as even just fixed D, for example. So with this declining, this may actually prompt some of them, well, yeah, I don't get 3.5, 4% fixed rate anymore. Maybe I could put this money back into a fixed real estate, okay, like landed property. So we put this still in the middle, especially now where we don't really know what's going to happen, especially with US coming in, and they are saying that they may not drop the interest rate as much as the rest of the world would like to. Okay. Next will be on the stock market. Now, this again is another big uncertainty. We have read enough reports whether it's going to be bullish or bearish. Some said with Trump administration coming in, I think certain stocks or US stock markets going to rise. There are also another school of thought where it says that bubbles are forming, right? Because the foundation of a lot of these stocks are not exactly as strong as they should, and it's basically a bubble market. So who are we to say, and what's going to happen? Only time will tell. All right, so we put it right in the middle, but it could swing both ways. Now, this one, stock market, and maybe let me just go to the next point first. These two are mainly more, I can't really say only the rich, these are things that only the rich dabbles in, but we have heard enough of our clients where when we start to discuss about, what actually influenced their next step into either buying, selling, especially buying, right? This two always comes up, all right? Especially crypto market, those who are in crypto, no matter how unsafe it is, just in the last 3 to 4 months, yes, got up by more than 50%, all right? Over the whole last year, Bitcoin has got up by almost doubled. Double, what does it mean for some people who put millions is that you have millions more suddenly, just overnight, or should I say in 1 year. So a lot of them, we have really heard from some people who are taking the money out because they are not as optimistic this year, is because it may have peak, etc. They may cash out and then divest back to property. Hence, and of course, going back to landed will be one of those sectors. Okay. Therefore, increasing the demand and therefore the prices. By the way, when I say good, let me just come back. This I'm talking about value of the property, right? That means the value of the property going up. Less so on quantity, but we are focusing more on the value. Okay. Now this is now we're coming to be more social factors, so to speak, like aging population. Nothing new. This is going to continue, unfortunately. Now we put this either both good and bad because we really have seen both sides, right? Both sides of either push and pull factor. Right. On one hand, you have the good because we have aging, let's say parents, etc. A lot more buyers, homeowners are now thinking, okay, why don't I move out of my condo? I should stay with my parents. Therefore, I need a bigger house. On the other hand, is also now we have a lot of clients who are, as they age, empty nesters, house becomes very big, old, and then they want to sell. This will increase the supply. All right. When supply increases more than demand, obviously you'll see basically a moderation, if not a drop in prices. Okay. So swinging factor really right in the middle. We just have to see which one of these two big groups are gonna edge up more than the other, all right, in this coming year. Okay, next is a very interesting thing, is what we call post-pandemic spillover. This is one of the factors of unexpected group of so-called sellers, okay, of where buyers in the last who actually purchased, they are the shortest turnover in terms of sellers. Most of the sellers we see, they have stayed at least 5, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years. Last year, okay, 2024 is because after they purchased in 2021, all right, they have in just 3 years made very, very significant capital gain. Okay, so 21 to 24, you still see about 30+% change in terms of capital increase, prompting a lot of them to sell. But how about next year? Or this year, 2025, if you compare to 2022, because of a much weaker 24, you may see less, all right, in terms of you'll see less profit from them. Therefore, they may not be as inclined to sell, or they may not sell as attractive a price that we're seeing now. All right. The good thing is that there may be less supply. Okay, because of this, people bought 22, for example, they may, oh, I don't make so much profit, therefore I should not sell. Less supply, and this may push up the prices. Okay. All right. Now this is something quite interesting also, is a very strong Q4 last year. All right. You have also seen from the launches as well. I think in 2 months of project new launches, I think this equates to almost the entire first 8 to 9 months in terms of transactions, based on the many reasons that has been shared earlier. All right. But this 400 plus, right? This Q4 last year, 400 plus is almost one of the strongest quarter or strongest Q4 that we have seen in a very long time. And many of them who have sold their places have not even found the next place yet. So therefore, even in now first 2 weeks, usually in January is quieter, we're seeing a lot of viewing requests from buyers, etc. Right? I call this, of course, this are landed transitioners. That means from landed, they sell, they're moving back to landed. Less so, of course, for those who are, let's say, downsizing, they move back to one of the $1 million HDB, etc. Okay, so this is going to be, this work is going to keep the market very active, at least for the first quarter or so. Okay, this is not going to come down anytime soon unless policies change. All right, we have seen that I mentioned earlier. I was personally surprised to see what there were 1 million, more than $1 million HDB transactions just last year alone. Of course, it's a record high. We see condo market, we see 99-year condos reaching 2008, 2009 suburban areas, etc. All right. So with this kind of gap, which is also one of the reasons that is actually causing a lot of people from going into affordable under 3.5, under 4 million landed market. If a 4-bedder now condo resale, etc., is going to cost 3.5 million, why not I consider a landed? In the near future, at least 3 to 6 months, we see more of such value seeking and importantly, profit realizing upgraders, because a lot of these owners for these non-landed segments have made a lot of profit, all right, especially those who bought in 2019 pre-COVID, so to speak. A lot of them, they are now renting, they have not purchased and are thinking of entering the landed market, right? Growing number of naturalized citizens, we mentioned that last year. I think in 2023, if I'm not wrong, there were like 23,000 new Singapore citizens alone, all right? As much as our birth rate is declining, Singapore government is very aggressive in pushing this, and this will lead among them. All right. Besides, of course, there's a lot of PR. Let's say more middle income workers, quite a substantial amount. Of course, are actually very affluent, right? They come, we have met quite a number of them, like we mentioned earlier. And when they come in, they're already staying in 4-bedroom condos, for example. When they enter, they can buy their first semi-D, for example, jumping from cluster to terrace, etc., all the way there. So this, the difference between this and let's say not normal citizens or Singaporeans is that the hunger, right? Once they turn, it's like a license to own. And even in the home countries, whether you're India, China, they kind of have freehold landed, so to speak. So the minute they turn a citizen, the first thing they do is to buy landed. All right, buy landed. So we are among the 23,000. We don't have figures from last year yet. All we need is, let's say, 10% of them. That's 200 plus, right, out of 500 units. So that is going to really increase the demand and therefore the prices. Okay. One thing we are seeing now, I'm sure you're one of those, if you're still staying here and not going to work or have to go to work tomorrow, is that this declining work from home culture, now going back to basics. So we're seeing more people saying that, oh, I need a bigger place because I work from home. Okay, this will actually reduce in demand. Okay, they may be happy staying put with the current size they have, less need to upgrade, therefore leading to less demand for landed houses. All right. And recent, okay, which I just added is like just today, after suffering few days of rain, torrential rains, right? A lot. I don't know about you, if you're staying in a landed house, are you facing any hassle, leakage, seepage, ponding, whatsoever, okay? We're more buyers. We have some cancellations. No, now staying landed is quite troublesome because I got to take care of all this nature thing, you know. And it does seem that the climate is happening. Something new, so maybe this is the spark of longer trend, I don't know, right? So, but more people probably will say that's quite troublesome, all right, to stay in a landed property, and this may reduce the demand. All right. Okay. Of course, there are some other more micro factors, and obviously those that affects the specific districts, but by and large, these are some things that I think we should look out for. They will affect the prices in 2025. Okay. Now, important, then what is our overall forecast really, or HLD, after saying all this? Okay. Boldly put, we've done this for years, and we shall be brave again, all right? And again, these are with very calculated assessment of what's the market is going to be. Our assessment for this coming year is that value is going to continue to grow, all right? Continue to grow because if you can just see from the top, there are probably more blues, right? More blues, stronger blues than some of the bats. In fact, even this year, last year when we started, it's not as if macroeconomic conditions are good as well, right? So I think Singapore has proven to be quite resilient. In fact, some even say that with that, it means more people want to come to Singapore, although that may not translate to a direct so-called impact on landed properties as yet. But even condo upgraders, if you get more demands from, let's say, buyers, then they may be more inspired or more motivated to push to a landed, right? So by and large, we think conservatively, it's going to be 2 to 3% in terms of value. Again, for those who have spoken to us before, we feel not just for this year, but for the next, let's say, near midterm future, next 5, if not even 10 years, I think we are not going to see what the post-pandemic where you see double-digit growth for 3 consecutive years, right? For now, with, of course, intervention from the government, etc., it's going to grow at a very healthy rate, right? For it to drop is quite unlikely. We are very, very confident, except, of course, for certain districts or certain areas or house types. Okay. Volume, however, we did expect it to not surpass last year's sudden spurge to more than 1,600 units. So it's probably going to be 1,400 to 1,500 this year. Okay. 1,400 to 1,500 this year because some of the factors that happened last year, we think it's going to taper down this year. All right. So at least for the first half of 2025. This is the first time we would say because of really too much uncertainty or too much impact of the bigger impacts, right? Concerning, I think, the global, I think, economy in general, I think we could have to wait another 3 months or so before we assess what's going to happen to the second half of the year. All right. So with this 2 to 3%, etc., what does it mean for the districts? There are some districts that we feel has a lot more potential, such as 10, 11. Main reason is there are a lot of new, for example, new houses that's coming in that is where the PSF are significantly higher. You saw just now, average is 2,000 plus, right, per se. And also popular districts, 15, 19, they are forever going to be popular. I'll use the word forever very confidently because it's been many years because of location, etc. So the prices will continue to grow. All right. bad. The only one that we can say not to, I think, Sentosa, because it's a foreigners' haven. If the 60% EBSC is not going to be removed, I think it's continued to be, it will slow down in terms of demand and therefore the prices. Right now, there are some in the middle. This is where I think that we call high potential. Very interesting. These are, if you can see, they're all quite near. All right, a lot of future developments. They're also near now the popular, the big three, all right, 10, 11, 15, and 19 as well. 5, Southern Waterfront, I think you know what's going on. I think the potential that has not been realized yet, all right, things are going to happen. 14, 16, because of 15, you already see some of the spillover to 16 already this year. I believe this year, 14, you're going to see similar increase in demand as well. 21, 28, like what Sean has said, very, very close to 19. I hope after his speech on 28, you realize that it's a very good value so-called district with already proven to have very high, record high PSF already. So what's stopping the other resale houses, right? Not forgetting this northeast area is near the, I think, highest concentration of condos, which is District 19, okay? All right, so something for now. Most important thing now is your house. Really, what does this mean to me? You tell me so much about the district, etc. I only care about my house, my 5 million semi-D. I'm going to buy a detached that's under 10 million, just now said Resale, for example. So if time, okay, now we have crossed the time, maybe just a show of hand. If you want to listen further, just give me 5, 10 minutes maybe. Would you want me to continue? Just put the, what's that? The wave sign or something. Give me an indication. Thank you. If not, I will stop here and the slide shall remain. Okay, thank you so much. I will go very quickly. All right, this is what we call the top 20 factors. I won't go too much, but I just want to let you know that what affects a landed property's value is not what you saw just on URA. Okay, earlier, there's a lot more. I won't go through. You can just read there, plot shape, parking, etc., etc. There are many, many factors. All you need is 1 or 2 that we call deal breakers ones. For example, if your shape is super odd shape, for example, long driveway, for example, very sunken, for example, facing a temple, sorry, for example. Sorry if I'm pointing out to your house if you have these qualities, okay? But what are all this and how do you allow that to be? Because you need to know what are the things that will really optimize, all right? Therefore, I go to this. If you are a seller, a buyer now, how do you become smarter, okay? All of you are smart people out there. You have earned your rights to own a landed property. How can you be smarter with our 10 years or more of experience to help you, right? Optimize. When I say optimize means whether realistic, yeah? So because depending on the factors that you're in, that your house is subjected to, there is a certain cap. Okay, you saw some houses being in the market 2 years, not so, 1 year, not so. I think my various district ICs have really shown you what are the basically the max, mean, etc. Okay, but how to maximize it within basically the realm of where you stay and how your houses, the value that your house possess. Now, this is not new to some of you who have seen before, but I'm going to repeat this for the newcomers. Okay, right? Now, assumption is you are motivated. Okay, and ready buyer or seller. If you're not motivated, you say, let's wait for the market. You can wait 6 months, 9 months later. I think the rules I'm going to share is not going to apply to you. All right. You're contented. Okay. You may not be overjoyed because you want to. Fair, reasonable market value. So then let's talk about optimizing it. If you want really over and above what the market has transacted, I don't think my teammates, if 100 of us happy to sell it, you're going to find a buyer because a buyer is not blind, right? But there are other options for them to choose from. In a sense, same for a buyer as well. Same thing. You want to buy for below market value, etc. You're not the only buyer out there. All right, you're not only buyer out there. So you just want to buy at a fair, reasonable price, and let's see how we can help you. Even I think because of landed price is very high. Let's say $5 million. Even 1% is 50,000 savings. All right, or 50,000 more in terms of profit. Okay. So what's the problem we face now is buyers cannot decide, lose out. Sellers are taking too long to sell. Am I right? If you're one of those. Whether you're buyers now or sellers, we have a lot of sellers now, even though it's kind of robust, 1,600 plus units, a lot of units are still left in the market, okay? Because you can see from various statistics, there are simply more supply than demand for certain segments, okay? First step is market knowledge, okay? Market knowledge. And problem is, I think Sean has given you some insights. You have incomplete past transactions info or too many current listings to search for as a buyer, am I right? We serve service buyers as well, and sometimes we go into a property guru, etc. We almost want to pull our hair, right? Because there's just too many things and you don't know where they are, etc. Okay, so let's elaborate. So public consumers, we've shown this earlier. I won't elaborate. Okay, if you go to any of the Hutton's agents who have invited you, you will be able to see that, oh, we have more information. We can give you the address. With the address makes a lot of difference, because whether you know this is a 2-story, 3-story, renovated, rebuilt, etc., makes a lot of difference in the PSF, as seen in the many chart toppers just now. Okay. Now, what if you want more? This is where we HLD comes in. Okay, this is a typical past transaction fact sheet that we can provide to you. Can you imagine? This is, you just see Joo Chiat Avenue. Here you see 62 Joo Chiat Avenue. Here, sorry, 52. Why is it 66? Okay, but here you can start to see, besides, I think, land size, you can see the built-up area. You have a picture. Because we have the past data in our database, we actually get to know how many bedrooms, bathrooms inside as well. Would that make a lot of difference to you? If you're buying a house that's similar like that, you should know that, oh, it's only 4 million. I should not be paying 4.5, for example, right? Rather than relying on incomplete info. Okay, this is just one of the many, many examples. We have thousands of past transactions infos in our database. Okay, plus, of course, the 20 key values. This you have to speak to your HLD lender consultant, the ICs, who are advising you, because we've seen more, like it or not, we have seen more houses. We have transacted more houses. They are just intrinsic values that you won't understand, even though you bought it for reasons that that would not be evident to a lot of buyers out there. Okay, so these are some examples. Just give you, for example, just here, right? Just Joo Chiat or East Coast D50, we just pluck out one. Okay, just give you an example. You can find the range from 1,008 to 3,007. Just now I said 1,000 per square feet, right? Difference. This $2,000 per square feet, right? How are you going to fit in your house within such a wide spectrum? If you price it wrongly, your house is going to sit on the market. All right. If you price it too low, it's going to be sold quite fast. As a buyer as well, you buy the wrong, you enter at the wrong time. Now the market grows 2 to 3%. You pay 5%, 6% more, means you are over ahead of the market by 2 years. Do you want to do that? Can you afford to do that? Okay. Right. So this is not just about just marketing. It's just not just about the price, etc. I think understanding the market is the most important. For those who have approached me or any of my ICs, you know, just today I got 2 calls wanting to sell a house. I say, out of due respect, sir, if you don't tell me where is it, describe the house to me, I can't give you a number. I don't even know where the house is, how it looks like. Even if you give me a photo like this, 53 East Coast, I need to see the layout, right? Do you have a lift, etc.? Is a layout suitable for majority or 80% of the buyers out there that can secure you viewings as well as offers? All right. So you have to compare all these things. Okay, like I mentioned. So please look beyond, I think, just the key statistics. Now, current listings. Remember, I say go Property Guru. Very frustrating. This is what you can see now. I won't go to the details. If you're a buyer, you'll know what I'm trying to say. All right. Even if professionals or licensed agents like us are finding it difficult, I can imagine the frustration you're feeling. Okay. So Hutton's, again, we make things a lot easier. You can go to any of the Hutton's agents who have invited you. A lot more examples, some information, etc. Okay, which makes things a lot easier. Okay, again, why do people then come to us, HLD, is because the same fact sheet that you saw, we have all the information there. First and foremost, I think the facade is there. Makes a lot of difference. Sometimes just for one facade, you don't like it, let's move on to the next one. Don't need to waste time to schedule, arrange, and see, and then be given a surprise. You know, when you're asked to meet, please meet, you know, at the end of the street, and then, or I'll tell you only on the day, etc. Because time is precious, especially for, I think, a lot of you out there. All right. So you get to see all this information, just pardon my teammates' faces. Anyway, they're the ones who will show you. Regardless, one thing about us is we share our listings. It doesn't matter whether it's sold by me, by Sean, by Jason, etc. If it's one of ours in our database, we will gladly share with you. Now, besides that, what if you have very particular as buyers, let's say, or even as sellers? Okay, you want to know, how come my west-facing house, it takes such a long time to sell? It's a fallacy because I like the west sun, I like to see setting sun. But unfortunately, Mr. Seller, west sun houses traditionally, and we can see because all our houses are denoted by direction. All right. And to tell you that houses west facing, let's say, for example, just have a lower price generally, right, than the others. Okay. We also are able to split by zones. We have seen the many zones earlier. Obviously, now you can see from Justin sharing a Katong house in general is different from one in Teluk Kurau. Pardon, yeah, those who are staying in Teluk Kurau, but there is just a difference in terms of premiumness and definitely the price. All right. A lot of you asked, remember, aging population. You want a granny's room? Please show me one way that you can find whether there's a granny's room in Property Guru I'll come to you, okay, straight away. Swimming pool, even simple things like that, all right? We have lift, etc., etc. Parking, a lot of you are upgrading because you have more cars, right? Number of stories, even simple things like this are not present, okay? For us, if you don't believe, go and check out our website. All these factors are stated there, okay? You may not be able to drill to all this, and soon this year, we're going to come up with a feature that allow consumers like you to go in, okay? All right? Now, something that new that has come up this year, just started, and we just announced as early as just, what, 1-2 weeks ago, is that in a click of a button, all 100 consultants in 5 seconds, literally, okay, exaggerating, maybe a minute, okay, we can, for example, using this house, okay, this is the house we just sold just last night, to be honest. From this house, you can see which are the past transactions nearby within 500 meters radius. Not only does it show you where they are located, the house address, we are able to show the 20 factors that we showed you earlier. Then you can make a very quick comparison. Actually, a lot of our clients, to be honest, they are very smart, intuitive, they can analyze data very fast. The thing is, they don't even have the data to transform them into information, you know? So we've tested this out. Sometimes I'm driving, I download past to my clients can read this. He says, all you need is get hold of a HLD consultant, tell them, my house is here, blah, blah, blah. Tell me what to know. I want to know the 5, 8, 10 closest to you. And then we'll pick out the ones that's closest to you. From here, you can first find out past transactions, right? How should you price your house? Besides that, is that important? Because remember, you're selling, there are other competitors. If you're selling a 5 million semi-D, well, in the past it's 4.8 to 5. Now you're trying to price, okay, maybe 5 is okay. But what about your competitors? If your competitors are pricing at 5.2 to 5.5, you may have a higher chance to price it higher. If your competitors are pricing at 5.5 to 5.8, for example, obviously, I think nobody's going to find a house that's lower than $5 million. So you have a higher chance of appreciation compared to the rest, okay? So which means you can also do something like a comprehensive listing comparison, listing or competitors comparison as well. This is the same house, just now was houses sold, you saw the dots. Now you are able to see which are the other 5 houses near you when you're selling, who will be vying for your buyers, limited buyers attention, okay? For this and more, we have lots more to share. I can only show you one example. Go to the HLD consultant and even via Zoom, we can do this very quick analysis for you. All right, so with that, okay, of course, important, besides the software, please find the most qualified. I mean, this is millions of dollars. I don't think there's time for you to save, scream, go for, I don't know, 888, sorry, no offense to those agents or competitors out there. You want to pay $2,000 to find someone to go and sell your $5 million house, when really 1-2% difference can make a lot of so-called difference. All right, so I'm sure all of you already are. If not, you might not be at this webinar. Okay, right. Again, this is my teammate. You should see the consultant who has invited you. If not, just look out for us. Again, our social media so-called portfolios. All right, all these are there. Any questions you're dying to ask or you have to ask? We have answered some already, quite a number of questions here and there. All right. Thanks, Thomas, Jess, Ken, who else? Maggie, right? Des, I believe it's Desmond. You've asked some questions to answer. Any other questions that you have that you need to ask now? You can answer. If not, you can go to your HLD consultant, Hutton's agent. You can find us online, my teammates and I. All right. Okay, last but not least, please do us a favor. We want to do some self-assessment. Let me just get the poll out again. So, Donna. Thanks for firstly spending the last 2 hours plus with us. Do let us know whether you find this useful or not to justify our preparation for the next webinar. No, I'm joking. We will do this regardless, whether there's one or not. Let me just get the, okay, it's already. All right. Okay, please help us share with us whether you find this webinar useful. And those who still have questions can put it there. I won't put our numbers here, our sensitivity, but you can always approach the consultants, all right? But if you are more confused than this, don't be surprised. Alarm is probably a lot of numbers were overwhelming you, all right? But the key thing is being focused. Please be focused on what you want to achieve. It doesn't, if you're selling a house in, I don't know, District 28, a semi-D there, what happens in other districts may not be relevant. In fact, they're not relevant at all. But please start from your house, the next 5, 10, what's happening in the market, houses on sale, I really identify the value that your houses is giving to potential buyers out there. That's very, very important. Same for buyers as well, right? Same for buyers as well. Know what you want. There's no perfect house after this. After doing so many years, there's just no. If it's perfect, the price won't be. All right, what you're looking for, and the what defines a good house may not just be a good price. There are many other things. There's intrinsic convenience, etc., layout, that you need to satisfy, because after all, landed house is more a home than an investment vehicle. So please think and evaluate wisely. All right. Okay. Any questions of that? Okay, I shall end the poll. Thank you. I'm just read out, I'm biased. I'll read out the top ones. No, 1 out of 10. Thank you so much. You are very generous. I think this is our best showing so far, with 68% of you giving us a 10 out of 10. I can't thank you enough. I think justifies, the hard work that I put in. For us, we're here to give you value, just to help you. And we'll continue to do so. All right, as part of the motto for HLD. So if there's nothing else, I thank you once again, and on behalf of Hutton's Landed Division, for attending the first quarterly landed market analysis consumer webinar of 2025. Thank you so much. Good evening, and hope to see you in the market soon. Thank you.